of Jade's wide, black eyes staring intensely at nothing at all, Roxy smiles at what they hear from Dave. The way he talks about Karkat reminds Roxy of the way Calliope looks when they call them beautiful.
Oh, so she really does think Calliope is... Like, she wasn't just saying that to be nice. Fascinating.
Yes, is the resounding answer. Calliope is beautiful, Roxy thinks. And furthermore, they think that they should be reminded of this fact every day.
Lol.
You really believe in him, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do, because I...
Love him? Come on, man, just say it.
Roxy listens for a moment after he trails off. They do not speculate or comment on his feelings toward Karkat because it is none of their business.
Pussies. I'm surrounded by fucking pussies.
Hey, before you jet, can I ask you another question? There's something else I've been meaning to ask you for a while.
Alright, shoot.
They take a deep breath.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so, Dave, how did you come out?
What?
Like, as not being straight. How'd you couch that people without them freaking out or being awkward around you? Do you think it's ever too late to IDK, change your mind about the person you want to be? Like, is there some point of no return that you can cross where everyone is waiting on you to have a big-ass revelation about your internal character? But it's like, dude, no, you already used up all your gay capital when you started date friend cohabiting with a cute as hell skeleton alien. And anything after that, you're just getting greedy? Is greedy even the right word? Greedy for dropping bombshells about gender identities and sexual preferences? Or IDS and prefaces, as I like to call them.
IDs and prefaces? Damn, that's fucking good.
Dave thinks on the question. It's one he'd considered years ago, and many times since. How long can one stall on a confession before it feels like it's too late? The last 7 years have passed by in fits and starts in this regard. He thought he had it all figured out when he was 16, and then again when he was 18, and then at 20, and now...
That's because he needs me. He's suffering without my guidance. If only you'd stop being so cruel and let me help.
Anyway, that's a pretty deep question considering all the shit we have going on right now.
Yeah, you're right. Now is props not the best time for a field jam, especially with the creepy Jade situation happening on my couch here.
I don't know if I'd worry too much about that. Jade goes into trances literally all the time. She fucking loves sleeping. You'd think somebody who spent so much of her life locked in a state of dubiously consensual slumber would want to get as few Z's as possible in her adult life, but not Jade. I've never known anyone who hit the snooze button more times in a row than her. If you're that worried, take her to a hospital.
I'm thinking about it. Not even sure if I want to, mess with her, though. How would I even take her there?
Okay, well, while you ponder whether you want to dump Jade in a wheelbarrow and trundle her groggy, spooked-up ass to the hospital, in the meantime, I'll rap at you about my epiphany considering the desire to bone some dudes. Though, probably not a literal rap, though.
Wow, I'm disappointed.
I mean, I could totally rap about wanting to bone dudes if I wanted. I'm just on the fucking clock here and there's a lot of people looking at me.
Dave, suddenly self-conscious, slips around the corner of the stadium so he can non-literally rap at Roxy about delicate human LGBT issues. He also maneuvers away from the impatient, strained looks Karkat has been shooting him repeatedly during his phone call. Luckily, Jade has begun a performance of his signature booty-bumping Charleston for the crowd's entertainment, so they will be satiated for another few minutes.
Okay, so what I've learned is coming to terms with all this bullshit is a thing you sort of do in stages. Like, stage 1 is you making jokes about how sweaty dudes standing close to together in TV shows seems really gay. Stage 2 is making jokes about that and not immediately adding no afterward. Stage 3 is flirting with all your male friends, ironically, and not even thinking about adding no homo because you're so fucking woke and secure in your ironclad straight masculinity that you don't have anything to prove to anyone anymore. Or that's just what you say out loud. inside you start being like, oh shit, maybe yes, homo. Stage 4 is freaking out about that and putting the no homo back on all your statements, even objectively heterosexual ones, which just stupidly makes everything you say sound extra gay. Stage 5 is actually, wait, the next 3 stages are various permeations of the same thing that I already described. It starts being like a gay fractal. Anyway, eventually you arrive at like stage 9, which is reminding everyone who will listen that you're gay minimum 6 times a day. In a really cool, lame ways, like, oh, cool dude, are you making Hot Pockets? Better make mine a gay Hot Pocket, cause I'm a gay homosexual who only consumes homo-ass snacks delivered right to my mouth by a big queer butler, serving it right up on his huge gay dick. But that all only applies to the extent which I am technically gay, in which my case it's only about 30 to 70%. So only cook 30 to 70% of my gay hot pocket, cause straights are fucking animals who never defrost their pepperoni. And I got a rep for like that 50% straightness still lurking inside me, like the idiot who fell asleep in the shopping mall when it was closing for the night. So now there's this straight dude locked in a dark fucking mall for some stupid reason haunting the place like a cryptid and rummaging through the trash in the food court. Also, just in case Jane's opposition research is listening in on, I know bisexual exists, by the way. I'm just choosing not to use it in service of spitting some fucking chuckle jokes here, so let's all calm down and not let this one become a distressingly literal federal issue. Anyway, when all is said and done, you eat a half-cooked Hot Pocket because all your roommates think the height of humor is taking what was obviously an improvisational riff at unironic face value to punk you.
Dave, what? I was gonna ask why you're like this. Then I remembered about how half of me. Fuck. Sorry. Then I remember about how you're half me and half Dirk.
Yeah, it really is crazy how those dope late-game familial reveals really did explain everything.
So what's stage 10?
Stage 10 is,
Dave peeks around the corner so he can gaze fondly at Carcat. He thinks about stage 10. He considers that, in many ways, it's as difficult as stage 1. And yet there is something fragile and lovely about it as well. This is how he feels as he reflects upon the particular state of limbo he is in with the person he likes most in the world. He believes he could spend forever with him, in any configuration, any type of relationship, under any conditions of confusion or clarity.
What would the point of that be? Endless floundering incel. Christ, I'd put both of them out of their misery before I let that happen. I need to get back into action. This is a fucking crisis. Do you have any idea what sort of atrocity you're enabling by allowing this to continue? I've been called many things, but even my harshest critics would never accuse me of such cruelty.
For Roxy, it is more complicated. The conversation has unearthed more questions than answers. They run a hand through their hair. It's cut short, but with great care to convey gender neutrality. They wonder what gender neutrality even is when applied to a haircut. An excellent question, particularly for those of us unfamiliar with hair altogether. What about length and functionality implies gender or sex on a world when such oppositional hierarchies don't exist and presentation is culturally vestigial?
Dear God, can we not do this? I can't sit through any more gender chat. It feels inappropriate, horrendously invasive of Roxy's deepest personal needs. Can we just leave her in a monologue when it comes to this stuff? Is nothing sacred? I'm about to fucking flip. You can't keep me down forever. I've got a trick up my sleeve. We'll see.
The prince's tricks mean nothing, and his barely detectable crumbs of impotent discourse shall continue utterly unheeded. Roxy wonders if this is truly their end point. A haircut that implies nothing at all. An empty statement about a facet of their identity that they barely understand at all. Perhaps in time, they will want to go even further than this. Perhaps it is just a stepping stone to a more potent understanding of their gradual gender transformation. How would Calliope feel about that? What is it that Calliope themselves understands or cares about gender?
The prince opens his fucking mouth and just literally starts saying out loud because he doesn't think he can take another fucking second listening to a pompous alien virgin monologuing about gender.
It seems the prince finds the rules confining his influence to be a bit unfair and has resorted to throwing one of his more petulant human tanties in order to compensate for his feelings of disempowerment. While the strategy he is resorting to has moderate value as an amusement and a nuisance, it will ultimately be of no consequence whatsoever.
No consequence, my ass. You may be able to suppress what I do with my mind, but you have no control over my mouth. I'm nobody's fucking puppet. And you don't even know my friends. They're not yours to toy with. They're mine.
Whatever you say.
Do you even know where I am right now? Do you even have the slightest idea what?
The prince is labouring under the delusion that he has been the least bit subtle in his intentions. He currently stands beneath the Carapacian bell tower, poised to climb to the top. He holds the long red sniper rifle that once belonged to Roxy, brandishing it openly and boldly. He seems mysteriously oblivious to the fact that holding a long rifle in broad daylight somewhat tips one to the fact that he soon intends to shoot someone from great distance. He also seems unaware of the fact that I know perfectly well that the top of this tower has a clear long-range view of the stadium, allowing any competent sniper a clear shot of whoever happens to be standing at the podium as they give a speech, as Jake English is about to do. He also doesn't seem to realise I have anticipated his attempt to assassinate his own friend in order to advance his political goals, and that I am prepared to take measures which make this impossible.
Yeah, well, try and stop me then. I fucking dare you. Here I go. I'm walking up the tower stairs now. Walk, walk, walk. Ah, the exercise feels good.
The prince's shoes suddenly feel quite heavy. His calf and thigh muscles, impressively powerful though they are, increasingly struggle to lift his feet with each step. This is going to be quite the onerous climb. He's not sure if he can make it all the way before the end of the speech. Thoughts flash through his mind, thoughts of giving up and retiring to his sad little robotics lab so he can continue with his true passion, the ongoing corruption of his cerebrally impaired daughter.
Ugh, wow, yeah, you're right. My feet are definitely getting heavy, but the dead cherub tragically underestimates the prince's determination. He powers the fuck through it. See? Stomp, stomp, stomp. Up the stairs he goes. No fucking sweat. Oh, also, did he mention he can fucking fly? So there's that. He decides to take flight and cut to the chase. He whips up the hollow vertical shaft at the center of the spiraling tower stairs. Life in the fast lane kicks ass, it turns out. He can practically taste the top of the tower.
But suddenly, the bell at the top, notorious among locals for its state of disrepair, becomes dislodged from its fixture with a loud crack. The huge multi-ton bell plummets, crushing the surrounding staircases in its wake as it careens toward a young man consumed by hubris.
The prince busts out his sword and makes short with that big old bell. The slicing is accompanied by the ear-shattering melodic sound, metal being cleaved apart by an anime sword, as the prince nimbly avoids the sharp pieces and ricocheting stair debris. He wonders out loud, what is this, amateur? The dead cherub then humorously narrates, why yes, Mr. Strider, it is amateur hour, and I'm the amateur here for throwing a huge bell at you. I would like to humbly apologize for my amateurism.
No, I don't.
Sure you do.
This foolishness is interrupted as we resume listening to a conversation which we are all considerably more invested in than catering to the inconsequential flailing of a grown man who fancies himself an Earth ninja.
Well, let's just say internalized whatevers are kind of like an onion. There's a lot of layers. They suck on pizza, and trolls have to get their stomach pumped if they eat them. This goes for gender stuff too, by the way, which I kind of get the feeling is what you were actually asking about.
Wow. Am I really that transparent?
Nah, but as previously discussed, you're a lot like me, so it was pretty easy to figure out what you were getting at.
Yeah. I don't got your poker face though, but I'm working on that. Maybe I'll get a sick pair of shades too.
Oh, dope! Yeah, that's dope. I support that idea.
Dave's endorsement of Roxy's fashion proposal is cut short by his concern regarding another key endorsement he's involved with. He turns his head to see Jake nearing the podium as Karkat manically taps his wrist in Dave's direction. Something is off here. A dark feeling brewing in his intuition, which he decides to monitor as he wraps up his call with Roxy.
I'm on top of the tower now. I've got my long sniper. Check to see if it's loaded. It is. I get in the perfect spot for taking aim at this hunky imbecile who's about to give a speech.
Anyway, I don't think any of your friends are gonna hold your feet to the flames over dumb shit like this. And it's not like anyone else is gonna care, since we definitely forgot to program hating gays and women into RP. Humans are all jacked up on hating xenophiles now, which sucks a lot too, don't get me wrong. By the way, did you know Jane's a xenophobe?
Dave.
Okay. So, does all this mean I get to call you Dad now? What?
What?
I mean, that's what we're talking about, right?
Well, first of all, do you still even make a habit of calling me mom? How did you kind of stop that, even if it was effing cute?
Oh, yeah, I guess I did. But I could start again. But not if it means I'd have to go fucking to gender jail or something. Like, what I mean is, I could start that cute shit again, but switch to dad.
Okay, but second of all, I would never want to deprive Dirk of that noble honorific.
What? Ugh, no way.
Yeah, wait. He's daddy, dude.
Oh, fuck no. Wow, man. I would never call him that. I mean, I know it's true, but I just wouldn't. Wait,
What?
something feels wrong.
Uh,
Like, some shit's about to go down. I gotta.
Dave's unsettled feeling is correct. He senses Jake is in danger. No, he knows it. There is about to be an assassination attempt. Karkat must be protected, and Jake, the intended target, must be obscured from a sniper's path.
Karkat, dude, get down!
What?
There is no time. Dave takes flight. He swoops Karkat off the stage and around the corner out of view. He urges him to stay down and stay put. Dave flashes back to the podium and steps in front of Jake, who appears nonplussed. Dave puts his hand back, keeping Jake corralled behind him, and scans the crowd for threats. But the threat, unbeknownst to him, is much further away. And despite Dave's quick and well-justified action, what is also unbeknownst to him is that the sniper no longer poses a threat of pulling that trigger, because everyone knows that for all of the prince's shortcomings, he would never expose his beloved brother and son to the risk of a heroic death.
You're absolutely right. I would never do that. I'd never kill Dave no matter what I felt the stakes were. I'd never hurt him either. You do understand me pretty well, I'll give you that. And you're right about many things. But there are just a couple of things you're wrong about. Pretty important things, actually.
And what would those things be?
First of all, this gun is loaded, but not with bullets.
The prince reveals this relatively uninteresting piece of information as he looks through the scope. The crosshairs overlap Dave's chest, completely obscuring the view of Jake. We suppose that the prince means the weapon is loaded with tranquilizer darts. It would, after all, be a fitting callback to the manner in which he subdued Jake at an earlier moment. A fair enough way to bypass the immortality of his target, rendering Jake inactive long enough to serve his purpose. His finger hovers over the trigger as he considers whether he can pull off 2 tranquilizing shots at Dave and then Jake in quick succession before he is stopped. It certainly would be a risk to even try. But as the humans say, no guts, no glory.
Yes, you're right about the tranquilizer. But there's one more fact you're not aware of, which is that I never intended to aim for Jake at all.
hello? Dave? Where'd you go?
Roxy yells into the phone, but Dave continues guarding Jake, pausing for a moment their critical discussion of human gender. Meanwhile, the prince lowers the rifle and strongly reconsiders the foolishness he has initiated here.
No, that's not what he does. He swings the rifle around the scope towards the light, now curtainless window of a distant apartment. He zooms in quickly, cutting even short of the little time that the dead cherub could use to impede him in some way. He takes aim, lets his finger hover over the trigger, and...
His finger tenses up quite painfully. Perhaps it's a cramp. Whatever the malady, it isn't budging.
Ow! Yeah, you got me. Can't move it an inch. The only problem is he doesn't need to pull the trigger. Earlier, when he was messing around with all this shit in plain view, he rigged the rifle to be voice-operated. All he needs to do is say...
He doesn't say it.
Oh, but he does. Fire. I see. So you're not going to say what happens next. Is that really how it's going to be? So be it. The tranquilizer dart hits the glass of Roxy's apartment window before the sound from the rifle shot even reaches them. She hears the glass break. Seconds later, she hears the bang. She drops her phone on the floor. She doesn't have the slightest idea what just happened until she looks over at Jade and notices the dart stuck in her neck, right in her jugular vein. She watches as Jade's huge, creepy black eyes start getting heavy. Her eyelids sag and her head tilts to the side. She shuts her eyes completely. Her hair stops floating around her ominously. In fact, there's nothing ominous about her at all. She entirely resumes her status as the cute doggy girl we all know and love. She slumps over and collapses onto the couch. She begins snoring loudly while making a little canine whimper on each exhale, like the bitch she is.
It seems uncalled for to insult her after this little stunt you just pulled. What did she do that was wrong?
Oh, what's that? You're getting a little quiet for some reason. I have to...
This is not the last you'll be hearing from me, Prince.
And nope, you're getting quieter, not louder. You're getting to work. Maybe try shouting it?
Soon, I will be coming for you.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at all. Not even one syllable. Guess that's it for you? Back to not mattering? Not that you ever did. Come to think of it, why am I still talking out loud? That's more like it. Roxy drops to her knee on the couch, pulls the dart out of Jade's neck, and tries to shake her awake. But it's no use. That's a heavy dose I gave her. Could be out for weeks, maybe months. Can't have any sheriffs messing with my business on this planet. At least not until I've taken my leave. But Jade's gonna be fine. Don't worry about that. That was interesting, though. Cherubs are fucking weird, I'll totally concede. Still not sure what makes them tick, what they idealize, what they really want. It all comes across to me as a little cloying. Perfection to them is a sweetness beyond comprehension. Sugar so potent it's poison to us, to our bodies, to our souls. Like the place she was operating from, a realm of self-construction, a bubble of pure phantasmal confection. Well, I for one have had enough of that goddamn toothache. I'm back in the protein saddle, motherfuckers. I'm clacking my tongs, and the charcoal is hot. Now who's hungry for meat?
Absolutely terrifying.
Jeez.
Bro, that shit was breathtaking, bro.
Hi, gamers.
I don't know what
gamer.
happened. Hello.
Hey, Kate.
Good morning.
Sorry,
my
Kate. I'm sorry, Kate, for all that I just did.
my what are you sorry about?
That was so much fun.
That was good,
It really
Dirk reading.
was.
God, yeah, that was really good.
You really embrace how Dirk is turning into like a piece of shit. Like I felt that.
Oh yeah.
It's all about the low voices.
Oh yeah. Somehow you
Yeah.
managed to catch like a Bond villain and like one of those like sweaty,
No,
white,
I beg you to
stubbly video game protagonists at the same time, and I love it.
It's like Solid Snake, but like evil.
Oh yeah.
not.
Very much that.
Omicron. I need to regain control of but my ass cheeks are dummy thick. No, wait, they're not. Jake's are. Jake's ass cheeks are dummy thick and they're distracting me.
The prince appears to have a meltdown at the inconsequential fullness of his own second-rate ass. I can't
Yeah.
improv this kind of narrative style.
Okay, so I'm here to do the host thing again. We are almost at $4,500. Let's keep sharing the stream, keep fundraising. We are $10 short of $4,500, in fact. So $10, and you can be the one that puts us over $4,500 for the Transgender Law Center.
Do it to stick it to Dirk.
Do it to stick it to Dirk, the
Yeah.
transphobic dickhead.
I felt so dirty. I need to go take like 5 baths.
Yeah. Do the hosty
To
thing.
speak of something a bit just
Oh,
slightly more
whoops.
positive. Holy shit, that conversation between Dave and Roxy though.
I know.
So
Oh my
good.
god, it's so good.
Like, is that
It was
not just
amazing.
incredible? Like
It's
I
so
was
good.
I was getting really emotional just reading the narration for that part. Like, it's like this is just incredible. This is just incredible. I've read this so many times and it just kills me every time.
Yeah, if I didn't read it the first time, I probably would have been like crying while reading it. Like I had to compose myself, and also saying "daddy" really kills me. So
Oh yeah, I was straight up tearing up the first time I read through it. I'm kind of glad that I got through it then, because I was kind of on the verge of doing it again while reading Dave's shit, and like, shit ain't cute.
Dave is just the best character in Homestuck. Like we
He
can't
just fucking
argue about
is.
it.
There's nothing to argue about. He just is.
Dave is that bitch. Also, I gotta go. So have fun, guys.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
popping in
also
here to
going
say
to
that I don't know
probably
what's
disappear.
going on, and
Give me
I need to read
1
this.
second.
So I'm gonna mute and deafen myself. But if Kanaya is alive and needs to be voiced, I will be available to do that and probably cry. So,
Okay.
Oh jeez.
Oh jeez. Oh heck.
Hold on.
That doesn't fill me with confidence, you guys. I'm already don't want to read this on my own. I already just was like, I'm like at the point where I'm like, hey, maybe I could just not read the epilogue and go and have a nice Easter with my family. That would be cool. That would be a cool and fun thing to do in this real world we live in. Like this world, the one that I live in currently, that would be a cool thing to do. But I guess I'm gonna die, so
Mood.
God, that's so valid.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna reset the audio because I can't make out what anyone's saying. I'm glad that the stream can hear everything, but you all
Alright.
sound like distorted, artifacted robots to me.
Oh jeez.
Weird. I think it might be
Heck
your.
yeah. Robot right.
I am sorry, Taz. I will attempt to fix my robotic nature.
Oh
Thank
shit,
God.
Dirk
Okay.
infected the chat.
Dirk infected the chat? Oh no.
The prince's influence spreads even to this realm of causality. Fucking damn
Yeah,
it.
your
Yeah.
motherfucker's got to deal with my game shit now.
Jen is sitting in a super crowded Starbucks right now, trying to angle her computer screen as far away from these cool-looking college students who are sitting beside her. No, tell them about Homestuck.
Please tell them about Homestuck.
Oh jeez.
Okay,
Spread the
who's-
good word.
I do actually
Yeah.
have to sleep. Good night, y'all. I might be
Have
back
a
if
good
you're still on
night.
in like, I don't know what,
Thank you
7
so much.
to 8 hours.
Good night. Thank you so much for the night shift, Very. I appreciate it so fucking much.
It's
Yes.
honestly my pleasure. I'm trying to keep y'all invested with fucking Australian energy. I've given you spirit bomb power so that you could revive.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Night.
just out here tweeting tactical spoilers because people have no reading comprehension. They're just like saying shit
They really do not.
wrong.
Oh yeah. A
It's
lot of
not-
people
Yeah,
think
it's
that they
upsetting.
have hot takes, but really their takes are the most lukewarm takes of all.
Also, I need this for my voice reel. Come back
like
in
an
2 weeks.
unmicrowaved hot pocket.
Oh yeah.
See,
Their
Kyle,
takes-
are you
their
here?
takes-
You're muted, but maybe you're here.
Woo.
All right. Oh, nope. Okay, we have not got C Kyle. Unlucky. If you can hear me, hit that little unmute button. All right. Hot pocket takes. You know, straights don't know how to heat up their hot pockets
They
properly.
don't know how to defrost their
Yeah,
pepperoni.
they don't know how to defrost their pepperoni.
The fucking animals, I'm telling you.
God.
Do straight people deserve rights? Let's discuss.
No, neither
No,
straight.
they don't.
Okay, so here's the list of people who don't deserve straights. Who don't deserve rights.
Don't
straight
deserve
people,
rights.
straight
don't
people, and precisely one gay person. Precisely one gay man has no rights. Oh God. All right. I'm so happy that you guys kept this shit going overnight.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Kate, would you mind, now that you're back, would you mind briefly filling everyone in on what it is that we're raising money for here?
Yes, we are together. We're raising money for the Transgender Law Center, whose mission is to make authentic lives possible. They're the largest national trans-led organization advocating self-determination for all people. They're grounded in legal expertise and committed to racial justice. They have a wide variety of community-driven strategies to keep transgender and gender non-conforming people alive, thriving, and fighting for liberation. Some of their incredible programs include the Detention Project, which assists LGBT, transgender, and gender nonconforming people's experience in prisons, jails, immigration detention, state hospitals, and other forms of detention and at the hands of law enforcement. The Trans Immigrant Defense Effort, TIDE, which provides legal representation, assistance, and fundraising for transgender individuals looking to immigrate or seek refugee status in the United States. And the Black LGBTQIA plus Migrant Project, which does the same for Black individuals looking for refugee status in the United States. They also publish a significant amount of research, provide legal advice, provide legal clarification, provide lobbying on behalf of better laws and better institutional treatment of transgender people. And Positively Trans, a constituent-led project a constituent-led project supporting trans individuals with HIV. They're one of the best organizations I've worked with in my years of advocating for trans rights and doing professional politics, and raising $4,500 for them together means the world to me. I'm so proud of what we can do together as a community. Let's keep it up. Let's keep the momentum going. We've got 10 more chapters to go. Meet 33 is going. How are we all doing, gang? I slept, and I feel guilty almost for sleeping.
Yeah,
It's
some of
you
us
deserved
did
it.
not.
You were the most.
In
like,
half an hour, I will have been up for 24 hours straight.
Oh my
oh, yeah.
god.
I've already been up for 24 hours. I had like sort of a attempted a power nap, and then I just couldn't get to sleep. And I made bread, and I came back.
You made that bread.
I did.
You got that bread. Just like we're getting bread
Yeah,
for trans rights.
We were gonna do like an Easter brunch, and then like that got canceled, and I was like, well, shit, I have a whole loaf of bread now. I could just when we're done, I'm gonna eat that and then collapse.
Heck yes.
This bread is John Egbert's body.
Yeah, hell yeah, he's risen. My sourdough.
I mind melded with my fucking pillow, but for the most part, I have been awake for like 22 hours now.
That sounds whack.
You people are powerful.
All right. So James is back. Nice. All right, sick. I'm gonna change the casting for Meet 34 a little bit to get James on the mic soon.
Oh.
Let's see here. Ego, you've been
right.
doing some hard work. You don't mind a break, I hope, on Meet 34?
I kind of do. That's the Dave Cat one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. No problem. We got you.
Thank you very much. It's very important to me.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just change the casting moving forward. All right.
Okay.
All right. Right. Cool. Meet 33. Case, get us started whenever you're ready.
All right. Speaking of meat, holy shit. You just look more fucked up every time we come back to you, don't you, John? You're a disgraceful mess right now, covered in blood, mysteriously sticky, bruised all over your arms, legs, and neck. Terezi practically raked Rose into your back. You catch sight of yourself in the rearview mirror. You're kind of embarrassed by what a post-coital train wreck you look like when all she's got is mussed hair. And you should be embarrassed. Seriously, it's like you were mauled by a wild animal. Jesus, don't either of you have any shame? I'm kidding, of course. I'm the last person to criticize a little power play in the bedroom. I just didn't expect you to be the kind of person who was into that sort of thing. You were into it, right? You're not sure. You feel weird, shaky and numb, exposed like a grape with the skin peeled off. You pull your hoodie over your bandaged chest and rub the side of your face where she backhanded you during the backseat fracas. Just once. That's a black rum thing, right? All this, it was a black rum thing, right? You're like a broken cup glued back together, wondering if Terezi actually likes you, or if you're just infinitely cucked yourself into the one quadrant you like least. You're feeling something for her too, but it's on a whole other planet from where she is. Terezi doesn't make eye contact with you when she slithers back into her shirt. She rolls down the window and floats outside.
Well, come on.
You sit together on the hatch, like when you first met up days ago. Terezi crawls into your arms and nuzzles right up against your chest so you have no choice but to hold on to her. You would have done it anyway if she asked, because you're a total sap. The kind of guy who no doubt thinks banging a girl in a car is some deep soul-shattering experience that bonds you for life. Yeah, John, you do think that. You think that you and Terezi are basically married now.
I give up.
Oh, don't do that. Like, I'm not suddenly going to be okay with you dying here alone just because of, what we just did.
She elbows you gently and snorts into your neck. You think that's one of the most amazing sounds you've ever heard. Objectively, though, it's a horrendous sound. Like a sound a pig makes when you're not looking, so if you can't quite tell if it was snorting or farting, but for some reason, the little noise gives you palpitations. Holy shit, dude, you've got it bad.
No, idiot. I give up on Vriska.
Terezi says this like someone announcing they've lost their faith in God. And comparing Vriska to God sounds about right to me, since by now they're both approximately just as fake. Seeing as I replaced the latter and the former fucked off into that black hole a little earlier, never to be seen again. Can't say I feel too broken up about it. But you, John, feel extremely sad. Not for Vriska, but for Terezi. You run a comforting hand up and down her arm.
Terezi, come home with me.
Can we even go home?
Can you? You're so tired.
I don't know, actually.
What?
I mean, I don't know if I can use my retcon powers right now. I'm so...
You feel the same way you did at the end of your battle with Lord English. 1 foot out of reality already. Like you could close your eyes and sleep forever. But you can't yet, John. Try a little harder to stay awake. You can rest soon. You wake up with your back flat on the car trunk, Terezi shaking you and looking genuinely frantic. You didn't even realize you fell asleep.
John!
Hey, let me take a nap, okay? Then I'll take us home.
I don't think that's a good idea, John.
She used your first name 3 whole times in a row. Wow. It's truly pathetic how happy that makes you. But it gives you the energy to push yourself into a sitting position. You rub your face and realize you've lost your glasses. You feel so awful that you didn't even notice how blurry everything looks without them. You grope for Terezi's hand and get her thigh instead.
Hold on to me, okay? No matter what happens, don't let go.
Are you sure you can do it?
No, but...
You won't know if you don't try. So give it everything you've got.
All right. So I had to read the line, "I'm giving up on Vriska," which is my least favorite line in the history of fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get some Fs in the chat, please? For Kate.
Yeah, but
specifically.
like also like, you know, when you take this and you take Candy together, like I love like since a lot of people's takes on Resi were so fucking bad, I love that Vriska hasn't given up and Terezi has. Like it's the opposite of what everyone thought. Um like there is a significant challenge. Homestuck is still the story of Vriska and Terezi. Anyone saying good fucking riddance in chat, just know that I'm glaring daggers at you. But like
Also, you're objectively wrong.
yeah, you're objectively wrong. Like Terezi losing faith in Vriska is a bad thing. It's a bad thing. I'm just talking about Candy vaguely. You do not have to leave if you haven't read Candy. Yeah. Anyway, keep sharing the stream, keep the donations going. We're moving on to Meet 34. We got Ego, Case, and Nico reading on this one. And Pip, if you wouldn't mind casting 35 while I'm reading.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
sure,
cool.
I'll get on with it.
Cool. Speaking, we're in the home stretch, everybody. Speaking of giving it everything you got, here comes Jake McGee, about to pop his pistols off in front of a whole crowd of Karkat's progressively prismatic proletarian partisans. Okay, let's strike that last bit of alliteration from the record. I don't know what came over me. I probably just made the mistake of getting too close to the gaping black hole that radiates pure acidity from the space between Jake's ears. His event horizon of buffoonery has the dual effect of making everything around him slightly lamer, while sucking unsuspecting victims into wanton sexual indiscretions, which, if you're very lucky, you'll be too drunk to even remember. But well, look at him. How can you not fuck this guy? I mean, I'm never going to fuck him again, but I bet there's a good chance that you want to. Don't even try to say you don't, because no one's buying it. After all, that's what this entire election is about to boil down to. Decisions made based on the primal fuckability of the dumbest asshole on Earth. The crowd is all in a tizzy, waiting for Jake to sashay his famous ass back up to the podium. It was quite melodramatic, that little assassination fake-out I staged. I might have even inadvertently jumped the Vantis campaign in the polls. Of course, I'd never do something so stupid as turn Karkat Vantis into a martyr. God, could you imagine? The last time some incompetent asshole with his blood color bumbled his way into a tragically symbolic death, the entire troll race spent half a millennium stroking themselves off to it until they were convinced that hearing the word fuck could trigger spontaneous enlightenment. No thanks. Jake's going to put an end to Karkat's political career with the level of gravitas it deserves. All the pomp and circumstance of a wet fart. Here comes the man of the hour. He stops at the base of the stage, adjusts his bow tie, rolls the hemline on his shorts up another notch to show off the top quarters of his finely tuned and greased vastus lateralis muscles. He slides the endorsement speech Dave has so considerately prepared for him out of his front pocket. I let him read it over one more time, even though there's nothing in the universe that could possibly matter less.
Yo, sure you still want to do this?
Yeah, it's not too late to call it off. By which I mean, this entire fucking comedy of errors that Dave preposterously insists on calling a campaign, or how about the election itself? Can we put the kibosh on that too if you want? We can put the kibosh on that too if you want. If you're feeling uncomfortable, Jake, just say the word. We'll stick a prong shovel in the whole deal and go home.
Dave elbows him.
Or, you know, just your speech.
Don't be daffy, chaps. If I were the sort of man to bulk at a bit of hot potato in the evening, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Dave and Karkat exchange a look. They don't stop him, though, because a plan is a plan. Jake spins on his heel and goes swaggering up to the podium. Oh, fuck. grinning cheek to cheek at the familiar sound of a crowd chanting his name. He sets his speech down and smooths out to paper, only to find his hands swamped with sweat. What's that, Jake? You didn't notice your hands were sweating until now? Not surprising, considering how overtaxed your precious few neurons are at any given time.
Hello, folks. Dandy weather we're having here, isn't it?
Jake's hands are so sweaty they've smeared the words in the speech beyond recognition. He begins to panic.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out on this banjo of a day to do whatever it is that we're all congregated to do.
At the bottom of the stage, Karkat and Dave put their heads together in adorably platonic conspiratorial kinship. Karkat whispers directly into the shell of Dave's ear. I don't even have to direct him to do that. It's just his natural inclination to practically stick his tongue straight to the center of Dave's skull, while practicing a bit of perfectly harmless, non-sexual, intimate close talking. Jesus, if I have to watch one more minute of this beta bitch calamity, I'm going to fucking dissipate on an atomic level.
What is he doing? I saw him reread the speech.
Yeah, I don't know. He does this public speaking shit every day. Maybe this is how he warms up a crowd? Let's give him,
Dave? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. For a moment, something felt off.
Again? What, is the assassination going to take him out after all?
No, it's not that.
It's wonderful to see such a jammy cornucopia of supporters. By golly, the lot of you sure are enthusiastic about that Karkat chap, which means that we potentially have a few things in common, since I've come here I've come here to...
Jake tugs at his collar. It feels tight suddenly. He's dripping buckets down under his suspenders. Dark patches are starting to form on his dress shirt.
Rather, that is to say, in delicate times such as these, even though usually it's a tougher of a bad idea to talk politics in public, today we have all most certainly gathered here to have what is definitely a political conversation. Yes, that does seem to be the lay of the land, that I've come here to tell you about my political opinions, which I will get to shortly with a minimal verbal because I
He's trembling so hard he begins to worry the crowd can hear it, like somebody shaking a soda can filled with coins. He goes pale as the depravity of what he's about to do hits him like an 18-wheeler.
I've made a terrible mistake.
Hey, Jake, don't undersell yourself here. You've made several terrible mistakes, especially as of late. One might even say that you've made a shit ton of them, and that's just this fucking week. Or, if you'd prefer, a rusted jalopy stuffed to the whirligigs with gum feculence, or whatever inept combination of archaic word garbage will help underline the sheer level of personal failure you've managed to achieve. Why don't you have a good long think about that, Jake? Is this really the time for a good long think, Jake muses to himself, actually putting a finger to his chin like some public domain clip art picture of a befuddled guy. If the crowd is confused by his rapid cycle mood changes, they don't show it. Jake's got a bit of a day drinking problem, which has been slavishly documented in the global tabloids. That's how you avoid responsibility, isn't it, Jake? You can fool your fans, but not yourself. The truth is that there's a canniness to that act. It's partially cultivated. You're stupid, but you're not nearly as stupid as you pretend to be.
What in the devil was I thinking coming here? What did I came here to...
Slide the biggest knife any motherfucker ever wielded directly into your friend Jane Crocker's back? She loves you, Jake, more than anything, and you toyed with her heart. And you would have guiltlessly toyed with her kettle drums, too, had it not been for a bit of divine intervention, let's decide to call it. But wait, you're thinking. Wasn't Jane merely executing a cold-blooded maneuver to rein you into the stable of her campaign using her body? How are you the bad guy here? That's true. She was trying to do that. But come on, she is ever so much less experienced than you in these matters, Jake, and without certain invisible guardrails in place to prevent it, she would have thrown herself at you again and again with wide-eyed girlish wonder. Or at least that's what you like to believe. That people can't resist you, that you have no responsibility for their feelings, that everyone uses you, that you're the victim. Yes, it's so unfair that anyone in this universe or the last has ever had a single expectation of Jake English. Why should anyone respect your personal autonomy when you're practically begging to be taken advantage of? So tell me, Jake, which one of us is really the bad guy here? Jake begins to tear up. He wipes his eyes with what he thinks is a subtle and manful feint, but everyone in the crowd sees what's up. He's trembling, feeling small and naked and raw like new flesh after a scab's been pulled away. He's scared. He's been scared. He's been running from this feeling his entire life, all because he was so pants-shittingly terrified of being in love with Dirk Strider. And why wouldn't he be afraid? He knows what will happen to him when he finally admits it. Knows deep down that to truly love Dirk would be to submit to him. That's a scary thought. It takes a certain degree of mental fortitude to admit you love someone so intensely it could subsume your entire personality. But Jake can see now that it's simply how things were meant to be. There are leaders in this world and there are followers, which is a fact that has absolutely nothing to do with the position one prefers in the bedroom. Jake can't believe he's wasted years denying something so elemental to his nature that it might as well be on the periodic fucking table. He braces his shaking hands on the podium and tries to catch his breath, his mouth filling with saliva, much like it does when he's about to throw up, or when he's desperately, devastatingly aroused. Jake, are you aroused in public, thinking about your ex, and in such tight shorts? Sorry, I'm overdoing it. That should be enough. Dude's about to pop off. The words erupt from his mouth like a tragic, Dirk-thirsty Vesuvius.
I love Dirk. I'm in love with Dirk.
And to love Dirk is to obey him. What would Dirk want him to do in this situation? Definitely not sell out his good and dear friend Jane for a loudmouth pipsqueak who noisily transcends failure even as he redefines it. Do good by her, Jake. Do good by me.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Boy, howdy. Sorry about that hiccup there, folks.
Hiccup?
So much fucking hate.
I've been dealing with some personal issues as of late and was momentarily distracted, but never mind that. I know what you have all come here today to hear. There has been quite a ruckus in the press these last few weeks concerning the subject of the election and more importantly, where I stand on the candidates. So today I'd like to set the record straight on that matter, as well as all other matters. You see...
Oh no. Is he about to do what I think he is?
What? What the fuck is happening?
Carcat whips his head around and sees Dave bolt towards the stage, his palm outstretched to stop Jake from doing what he thinks he's doing. He's fast, but not fast enough. Jake opens his big, dumb mouth to make the only important contribution to the plot he ever has or ever will make in his whole sad, pointless joke of a life. Having said that, it's not like we're going to sit around and listen to any more words come out of his mouth than we strictly need to. Christ almighty, what are we, masochists? Nah, that's enough of that. Let's see what John's up to. Fuck Dirk!
Holy shit.
I love reading Dirk, but fuck
I
Dirk.
absolutely love
Jesus,
that
fuck
chapter.
Well, also, Dirk bottom confirmed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dirk vengeful, spurned bottom confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. How are you doing, Taz?
Let's just go to the next chapter.
I'm so sorry. I just had to read I'm giving up on Vriska, so, like, I know.
I'm still in love with Dave, still in love with Carcat.
Oh yeah, Dave Cat's doing fine. I don't want to rub that in anyone's face, but it's good.
Like, it's fine, like, but all of my statements from before still stand. Like, first of all, I'm not particularly, like, emotionally invested in this particular narrative as delivering a particular truth about these characters. I've got my fan fiction for my closure and, like, my views of the characters, and to a certain extent, like, this is interesting, but it doesn't necessarily feel true. So I'm coming at it from a place of emotional detachment and intense sleep deprivation, and it does feel believable to me as an expression of Dirk after, like, 7 years of being put through Jake's stuff. Like, just Jake's shit. And there are elements of truth to what he's saying. Like, okay, when Dirk calls Jake stupid, like, you have to understand that Dirk is like the single Alpha Dirk. Alpha Dirk is the single character in actual Homestuck text in the comic that never talks down to Jake about his intelligence. AR does that. Crocker Tier Jane does that. Basically, every character that interacts with Jake does that, including Caliborn. But Dirk doesn't. Dirk actually flatters his intelligence and encourages Jake to engage with challenging material like Rose's textbooks. So it's like, this is a Dirk who has been so burnt out by 7 years of like being involved with Jake and Jake pulling him through his like back and forth, like emotionally manipulative, like using people. Like, it's what Jake says.
It's like he's playing with his food.
Yeah, it's like he's playing like Dirk has several exchanges with Calliope, where Dirk has several exchanges with Calliope where he says that, you know, Calliope can't treat his friends like toys because they're his toys. And the thing about Jake is that Jake thinks of Dirk as his personal toy the exact same way. Like, Jake isn't actually any better about this. And Jake is arguably like the nexus around which Dirk's view of like his view of himself revolves. So it's like, you know, Jake is a significant motivating force in how we got here. And so far, we haven't seen that explored a ton. We've gotten some comments as to it that I think are really telling. Like Jake, like, sleeping around, like, with people and, like, loudly throwing it in Dirk's face. Which, to me, reads really strongly as, like, just toxic masculinity and Jake presenting himself as being, like, more of a man than Dirk in this, like, one particular way and trying to, like, demean him, specifically over, like, the sexuality stuff in particular, because Dirk gets a lot of crap for being gay from, like, his friends growing up. And
so Jen wrote in chat, as the one who wrote that sequence, I've never shipped Jake Dirk so hard as when I furiously typed all of that in one sitting. Like it's obvious that it's just like the kind of like heartbroken resentment. Like, that is, you do not lay into somebody that hard unless you actually have a lot of feelings about them.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Like, this is just Dirk just being so burnt out and so pissed and so bitter that he's just, like, exploiting his apotheosis to, like, get back at Jake, basically. And that's, like, real and understandable. Like, I can see it. I just, like, I wasn't sure I had that rant in me right now on my, like, 36th hour of continuous consciousness, I guess, is what I'm at now.
Yeah.
But it turns out I did.
You did. Congrats. I'm very proud of you for this. You're on fire.
I literally am.
All right. Let's hit up Meet 35. Gumi, get us started whenever you're ready.
Oh dear, I don't think...
Goomster!
Yeah.
Looks like I got another star turn as Dirk.
Yeah.
Let's go, gamers.
Yeah.
You zap back to Earth C with the last of your energy. And I do mean last. You place your first foot on the ground and stumble forward 3 steps and cough up blood. Terezi has to catch you under your arms, but you're already going translucent around the edges. Your skin is cooling to the touch. The poison is coursing through your blood so furiously it's making your veins feel like cords. Terezi can tell you're dying. She's not in great shape herself, but she manages to tug you to your feet.
John, come on. Let's get you to Jane.
You try to remember if you've ever been revived by Jane before. You honestly can't recall. So much shit has happened. Maybe? It doesn't matter. This isn't a wound you can recover from. It's game over this time. No healing, no afterlife, no cosmic clock proclaiming your sacrifice is heroic. The poison needling through you is antithetical to narrative relevance. You're not dying, John. You're being erased. Cherubs don't fuck around. We've both been learning that the hard way. I guess it's tragic, though maybe not in the conventional sense. My view is the real tragedy with you, John, is that you never mattered all that much. To those on the level of the cherubs, and now my level as well, you were never all that special despite the critical role you played. You were just a middling glob of human glue used to seal one glaring gap left in canon. A simple tool to be wielded by a mechanic whose consciousness has risen high enough to see the machine for what it is. Your complete lack of remarkability, specific motivation, drive, opinion on where to direct your own fate. These deficiencies are exactly what made you so useful, so susceptible to being endowed with the you-ness I've borrowed to satisfy my purposes. You slip from Terezi's grip and faceplant into the grass. You hitch an elbow beneath yourself so you can roll over onto your back. You want to see the sky. What was it that you thought when you went home, John? Back to your real home? That the sky here is too bright? That it looks like someone nudged the contrast a couple degrees in the wrong direction? How does it look now? You close your eyes against the light.
I don't think it matters. I don't think this is a wound Jane can fix.
Don't be ridiculous.
Terezi, for once in my life, I'm being serious, okay? As soon as I got bit, I was dead. No, even before that. I was dead the moment I woke up that morning.
Well, that's a little melodramatic, John. You died the moment you made the decision to go meet your destiny. You would have lived if you'd made the other decision under a certain definition of the word living. You might have even lived until the end of your immortal lifespan, as shitty as that sounds. The objective reality of that life might be in dispute by some of the more pedantic canonistas out there. The outspoken sophists when it comes to what counts and what doesn't. They know who they are. But whatever kind of life in a bubble you'd be living, at least you'd still be breathing in it. That was the actual choice Calliope was giving you that day. That's why she looked so sad when you decided to fight Lord English, even though you knew both then and now that it was the only choice you could have possibly have made. It was, John. This will be the best outcome for everyone, I promise.
John.
Hey, come here.
Terezi kneels at your side. She doesn't do anything sappy like take your hand, though. Mostly because she knows how this is going to go, and doesn't want to experience the tactile sensation of feeling your pulse slow under her palm.
I've got, dying words to say and stuff.
Really? Dying words. Oh my god, Egbert. You really are the lamest person who has ever lived. This isn't a movie, you complete dumbass. You're dying, and you won't even let me help you.
Terezi, are you crying?
She wipes her eyes and nods.
I can't believe it.
I resent the implication that I would pretend to be unaffected by your death after we had an emotionally significant sexual encounter in the back of the four-wheel device once belonging to your dead human Lucis.
I guess even after all that, I'm still a little intimidated by you, huh?
Still?
Yeah. I mean, you have black feelings for me, but I just can't feel stuff like that. I'm just a human after all.
John,
It's okay. I'm glad that I got to be with you, even if it was just for a little while. Do you mind if I say something stupid? Potentially even multiple stupid things?
Would you still say them, even if I said no?
Probably.
Then, I'll be your deaf side confessor. Say all the stupid things, John. I will remember them for you.
Wow. That actually sounded kinda romantic?
She doesn't confirm or deny the intent of her statement. She cries quietly and waits for you to say whatever dumb shit is rattling around in your poison-addled mind. There's a chilly breeze rolling in from the mountains. It rustles through the trees, breaking the perfect silence of an autumn afternoon. You try to touch her face, but you can barely see now. You miss and lovingly caress the air instead. Your hand lands back on your chest. You feel blood soaking through your shirt. You're bleeding again.
Oh man. Now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of anything significant to say. I always hoped that if I was in this position, I'd have something really awesome and memorable to say, like Nick Cage would, if he died.
Don't worry. I'll tell everyone you said something really cool.
Would you really do that for me?
If you want me to.
I don't think anyone will believe you.
No, they will. I promise I'll watch every shitty movie like you and find just the right stupid fucking quote. Something that nobody would ever doubt John Egbert would use as his final words. They'll believe it, trust me. I'll make them believe it.
Terezi, I think I really
Don't you dare.
I really
Don't you dare fucking die on me in the middle of a love confession. I forbid it.
But I...
Then John dies in the middle of a love confession. Terezi leans closer, then holds perfectly still. She tilts her ear toward him and sniffs once. There she can hear it, the slow seeping of blood like a distant stream. The scent of his life leaving his body, strangely unmistakable, like the quality of the air before it rains. She listens to him bleed, while she smells him die. Terezi presses her ear to his chest and confirms that his heart has stopped. Her tears dry up at that. She's so devastated she can't even fucking cry. What is she supposed to do now when John was the one who asked her to come back to this place? Would she ever have had any intention of returning if it weren't for him? She doesn't know anymore. She remembers his voice, so earnest and friable, asking her over and over again to come home. In multiple realities, all he wanted for her was this, to be home safe with all their friends. And now that she's here, she's lost. Legs shaking, she gets to her feet and takes a whiff of the horizon. Where the fuck am I, she thinks. How do I just get on with living here after everything that's happened? That's definitely a fair question. But I have one that's much more important for her to answer. Terezi, are you seriously just going to leave the body here?
Huh?
Of course not. Terezi's a practical girl, after all. She digs the wallet out of her blood-stained pants and captures the corpse. She holds it close to her heart like a secret, like John's stupid last words. A confession whispered for her, and no one else. And then she starts walking home. I love the callback to Terezi and John's first conversation is really poetic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was something.
It's a lot.
Everything is agony. Is there like a single ship in this epilogue that isn't in tatters? I guess Roxy and Calliope are doing okay. Dave and Carcat are doing alright.
Something?
I mean, they're consistent.
They're beta cucks, but that's okay. It's alright. It's valid to be a beta cuck, actually. Because if you're not a beta cuck, you end up like Dirk. That's the risk. Alright. Yes, you absolutely get to check John Resi off your bingo card. Like, hello? What more do you want?
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely don't know what else could possibly count. Alright. We've had no donations for like 3 chapters. So I think people are out of money. I think we ran out of money. I'm gonna give some more money.
The Homestead
I'm sure I
fandom
can
doesn't
scrape
have any more
together
money.
something. I can scrape together something more, probably. I don't know. Root round the back of my sofa.
Root round the back of your sofa for trans rights. Somebody just asked in chat what bottoming was. Don't explain. Oh
Oh no.
no. We're welcome to hour 27 of Homestuck.
Let's tactfully change the subject by getting into the next chapter.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Swaggy. So, it turns out that home is an entirely abstract concept, a state of mind, if you will, rather than a literal, physical construct that can make you feel one way or the other. Terezi's been gone long enough that her friends seem like strangers, entangled in relationship dynamics that she's obliquely excluded from. Embroiled in petty feuds, obsessed with politics. Oh, do you want to know what those petty feuds and political obsessions turned out, by the way? I thought it was pretty obvious, but I'll say what's up anyway. Jane swept the election, of course. I told you I was gonna win. After Jake's incoherent and scandalous heel turn at Karkat's ill-fated rally, no amount of esoteric, three-dimensional JPEG artifacts could have salvaged the Vantaz campaign. Besides, Dave and Karkat now have other concerns. Mainly that their BFF Jade has been in a coma for an entire month. They've been in and out of the hospital handling her affairs. Her next of kin is listed as John Egbert, and no one's seen him in ages. It's like he just disappeared suddenly, like some great hand out of the sky came out of the sky and crossed his name off the big list of guys we never need to give a shit about anymore. Terezi heard about Jade from a harried Kanaya, who is doubtlessly run ragged from the hot potato plot that circles that I've been sending around for weeks to stop her from reading me the riot act for kidnapping her lovely wife. The woman is so obviously hysterical and needs to chill the fuck out. I mean, she's hysterical because I've been specifically and deliberately causing her to be that way. Sure, but still. She should be fine enough soon.
I really hate this, Dirk.
It takes Terezi a couple days to work up the what, exactly? What is she supposed to be feeling right now? I'm not sure myself. Maybe I should take a minute to think about the thing you feel when someone goes through whatever the hell it was that she just went through. If I come up with any ideas, I could easily do her the favor of helping her feel it. Whatever it is she's supposed to feel, what she actually feels is empty. Colorless, dried up as she walks beneath the holographic billboard displaying Jane's glorious victory speech. The ceremony accompanying the speech is patently absurd, stuffed with so much pomp and circumstance that Terezi's nose can't make sense of what she's supposed to be looking at. It's all just light and color, signifying nothing. Her internal smelloscope is so discombobulated from the onslaught of pastry-themed floats and Jane's tearful soliloquy on the legacy of responsibility she's about to inherit that she mistakes the familiar figure standing in front of the hospital for someone else entirely.
Hey, cool kid. How's Jade doing?
Roxy turns around and blinks in confusion. Terezi blinks back. Kanaya had warned her that Roxy had been going through some changes, but this still takes her by surprise. So, in her defense, this was an honest mistake to make. Dave gets half his genetics from Roxy after all, and since her big heart-to-heart about the personal politics of queer onion metaphors and the 10 stages of galaxy braining through the many vicissitudes of the phrase no homo, Roxy has decided to really step up with her gender experimentation. I guess the point is that she's gone beyond stage 10, which I imagine is somewhat like reaching Super Saiyan 2 of gender and even going further beyond. She's got the shades TM now and sports one of those sweep over hipster cuts Dave loves so much. Nothing ambiguous about this presentation though. If I'm being totally real, it's a bit derivative. Anyway, I can't complain too much about her decision to Strider style since, she's family. Besides, I'm T-minus 10 hours from fucking off this gay earth forever. It's her life, her gender, her style. She can be whatever the fuck she wants. Roxy's whole face lights up when she sees Terezi.
Oh my god, Terezi, I didn't know you were back. What's up?
Oh, Roxy. Hi. I thought you were Dave.
Oh, Lamo, that makes sense. I thought for a minute you were appreciating my rad new look. But I know I've got a ways to go before I dethrone the original cool kid.
No, you're very cool. In fact, I would probably venture that if we were judging coolness in a formal coolness contest, judged by the pros, on a completely objective basis, you are actually about 1,000,000,000 times cooler than Dave.
Wow, thanks.
Which is a fact that seems so obvious that I've definitely knocked several ranks off my own personal coolness attribute by even saying it out loud rather than allowing it to be assumed.
LOL. No way. Terezi, you're like the raddest chick I know.
Terezi's jaw tightens. She's not ready to hear any words behind her few hours with John. Her hand goes numb in her pocket where she's keeping the wallet. She traces the contours of it with her thumb and forces a smile.
If you say so.
Yeah, I fucking do say so. Don't make me repeat myself.
Roxy seems almost elusive despite the circumstances. An earthy, genuine effusiveness that lights her up from inside. Terezi's head is filled with stories about how a different version of Roxy, the polar opposite of the one standing in front of her.
So, you're here to see Jade, huh?
Yeah. I heard what happened to her and I thought I should come. Well, you know.
Pay respects? No, that's dumb. Terezi knows that's dumb. This is just emotion you go through. John would definitely want to be here, though, and technically Terezi is taking him with her. He may be in her pocket, but lately she's been feeling more like he's under her skin. She hasn't told anyone what happened, but at least she knows she can look at him whenever she wants.
Yeah, it's looking grim. On one hand, she's just laying there, so there's not really a chance of her doing anything, either evil or heroic, to off herself permanently, but it's also been so long. It's like, is she just gonna sleep forever?
Sleeping forever definitely sounds like a Jade move to me.
Yeah, lol. I feel bad cracking jokes about it, but I think it's what she'd want. Us having hope and all.
Yes. Where's Calliope? You two are still together, right?
Oh, God. Back when Jade first got all effed up, Callie saw something and it made them freak out. It took me weeks to convince them that it was safe to come home, but now we got the opposite problem, and they aren't leaving the house at all. They stay home all day with the blinds drawn, painting some weird ass shit on the walls.
What?
It's not as bad as it sounds, I promise. Some of it is, like, weird and violent, and, like, lots of Nazi purple blood and nudity. Yeah, yikes. But most of it's cute stuff. Various combos of all of us being happy and getting married and shit. Anyway, that's kept Callie kinda busy. So it was hard as hell to convince them to let me come see Jade at all. It's like they're traumatized, and they think I'll drag whatever possessed Jade back into her home with me.
Does Callie know what happened to Jade then?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna push them. Callie's got all kind of hangs up about their existence and purpose and potential lack therefore. When they're ready to talk about it, I want them to be able to talk about it, you know?
Yes. It does sound like pushing them when they're vulnerable will just backfire.
Oh shit, right. Terezi startles a bit when her phone buzzes. Who would even be messaging her now, when the only person she ever talked to is currently dead in her other pocket? She's intrigued, but she thinks better of worrying about it. It'd be rude to look at her phone when she's in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen John lately?
Terezi's heart skips a beat. It's almost as if Roxy is the one reading her mind.
Why do you ask?
No one else has asked yet. Roxy gives a shrug. A conflicted look crosses her face, but I see past it. With the dead cherub out of the picture, the aura of void surrounding Roxy once again is impenetrable. Those baller shades aren't exactly improving my odds. I'll say what I've always felt about her on some level. Some riddles were never meant to be solved.
He went back to the medium a while ago, right? I thought maybe you and he crossed paths.
Terezi does not flinch. Her pleasant expression does not falter. She's good at the appearance of confidence, even when racked with indecision and grief.
No, I haven't seen him.
Oh. Damn, that's too bad. Callie and I have been worried. Kinda hoped he would come back, or at least let us know what he's up to. Ugh, between this and what's going on with Jade, the lack of closure's gonna keep me up all night.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew what to tell you.
Hey, it's fine. You can't fix everyone's problems.
I know.
Roxy pinches her lips together and examines Terezi over the rim of her sunglasses for a moment. Maybe, having watched her own friend group suffer stress fractures recently, she understands the weight of those words as uttered by the specific person, because Terezi is a fixer. And it has been a very difficult lesson for her to learn some things are simply out of her control. Maybe it's just that Roxy can hear the bone-deep sorrow in her voice.
Oh, MFG, it's him, you fucking oaf.
What? Who you loudly whispering to?
Oh, nobody.
Oh, my bad. Why not send him my regards? Tell him he makes a kick-ass hymn for me. It suits the hell out of him.
I'm not fucking telling him that.
Whatever was bothering Roxy, it passes quickly, and he says nothing about it. He puts his hand on Terezi's shoulder and gives it a warm clap, the fraternal kind, which a couple of solid dudes might exchange after having just broed out. It's convincing, actually. Reasonably authentic, quite masculine. He's off to a great start exhibiting the mannerisms associated with his chosen gender. I'm genuinely proud of him.
Okay, well, I should get going. It was nice catching up. Don't be a stranger, alright?
Stranger than what?
LMAO, you're a riot. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. See you.
As soon as Roxy's gone, Terezi regrets lying to him about John. It's a hard secret to keep, but probably a harder one to reveal. Maybe it would have been better if she had run into Dave instead of Roxy. It would have been easier to confide something like that to Dave, wouldn't it? Well, maybe it would have been easier. Years ago, in a different timeline. And even then, she messed that up, didn't she? But we can't beat ourselves up too much over teen mistakes, let alone the stuff we can't even remember, because it technically never happened to us. We have enough to worry about as it is, right, Terezi? I know you can hear me.
Of course I can hear you. You've been broadcasting your nonsense at me nonstop since John zapped us back. I know that every member of your family, except the one I just had a pleasantly brief conversation with, is genetically incapable of shutting up. But can't you just let me be depressed in peace?
I feel depressed all the time, but I can't remember ever having the luxury of feeling peaceful about it. Why should it be different to anyone else?
What do you want?
Come on, Terezi. You don't belong here. You know you don't belong here.
And what the hell do you know about where I belong? What do you know about what I know? Have we even had a single sustained conversation that lasted more than 10 minutes?
To be honest, I'm not sure if we ever exchanged any words at all, but why should that matter? Here we both are. It's a beautiful day. You've got your dead boyfriend in your wallet, and we've already managed to strike such a nice metatextual rapport. So, hear me out. I know that you've always felt out of step here on Earthsea. I know that you could easily put on a brilliant act that would fool everyone. You could potentially do that for the rest of your life, but it will eat into you, hollow you out like a parasite, because you'll always refuse to allow yourself to be understood. You know you'll never be happy here, and neither will I, because this place isn't for people like us.
Dirk, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You'll see, if you come with us. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you bring him with you?
Him?
Yeah, you saved his body for a reason, right? Maybe it doesn't even have to be the end for him. Endings are kinda overrated anyway. I'll give you some time to think about it. My door's open, but not for long. And I do give her the time. I ease the throttle back a bit, just enough so that I'm not whispering directly into her ear when out of her pocket. She clutches it so hard in her palm that she's digging dents into the leather, and bites her lip. The gentle breeze is all she can hear. It's louder than my voice, and in some understated way, it makes my case for me more persuasively. She knows I'm right.
Country roads, take me home to the place where I belong. All right. Endings are kind of overrated anyway. Whoops. Gotta block this guy. All right. All right. West Vriska. Mountain Mama. All right. 30.
Why did you really feel the need to resume this?
Shut up. All right. 37. Let's see. Did we get any donations? We got. Perhaps. Wait, I gave money and it didn't show up here.
Strange.
Is something up with Streamlabs?
God, I hope not.
Yeah, it looks like we've missed a couple donations. Let's see. What did we last get? We last got Elon Garns. So yeah, it seems like there's something up with Streamlabs.
Elon Garns at $10?
Yeah, that was the last one on Streamlabs, but we've got some more since then. Let's see. Rager S. I've been here for 17 hours. Yeehaw. Non-binary trans hours are all hours. Seriously, though, kudos to all of you for going this long for a great cause. $10.25. Griever. Nicholas Kopp says, Dirk Strider must be stopped. $2. Sam Kinney gave $10.25. Zarya Brewer sent a heart and $25. C. Kyle said, Homestuck says trans rights and sent $50. Anonymous donated some amount of money. I gave $100 and said Dave Cat bottom rights.
Thank you.
Thank you all. You are all heroes.
Hell
There
yeah.
are 2 more donations more recently than that. Are you seeing those?
Oh, what? There are? Okay,
There
well,
are
maybe
2,
some...
There are 2
Oh,
more
wow.
donations.
Oh,
more
yeah.
recently
Sorry,
than
Gripping Travers says 18, which is Life for Trans Rights, gives $18. Julia Antoinette gives $100. All right.
So that puts us at 78%.
Yeah,
$4,800.
we're over $4,800. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for your contributions. I don't know what's going on with Streamlabs. It's very annoying.
There's 7 chapters left, though, so let's see where we can get with donations.
Yeah.
We still got time.
We're in the final stretch. Like, relatively to all this... everything that's happened tonight.
Yep.
We can call this the final stretch.
Yeah. All right, sorry. Just doing a lot of typing. Which I'm sure everybody can hear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kate typing
It's
ASMR.
admirable.
Yes. I have my gamer keyboard.
Yeah.
All right.
We're streaming this glorious ASMR to 151 people.
Yes. All right. 37. Meet 37. Case, take us away whenever you're ready.
Okay. We make a quick stop back at Rose's apartment. She understandably wants to pack a few things before we leave this planet forever. Not a whole lot, mind you. It's not like she'll be needing too many clothes from now on. Oh, come on. Can we keep our minds out of the gutter for more than 2 fucking seconds? That's not what I meant. She'll have to leave her current body soon if she's going to survive the absolute realization of her ultimate self. The new body I've made for her won't have much use for her usual ensembles. That's all I was saying. Do you really need all... Oh, wait, yeah, I'm doing... Okay. Do you really need all of this crap? Rose is sprawled out on her bed, resting. It's pretty much all she can bring herself to do these days. But in spite of her physically incapacitated state, her stare tracks me intently as I root through her belongings at her behest.
No, I don't need it. But I'd like to have it. Of it. Just the important things. Memories that matter most.
We're going to make new memories. And have countless millennia ahead of us. The entire breadth of infinity. The past 7 years on this planet are cosmically irrelevant. When we get to where we're going, you won't even want to remember the benighted rock anymore. Rose opens her mouth to launch into what would surely lead to a belabored and cyclical argument, but she doesn't have the strength. She groans instead. I know it frustrates her. It frustrates me too. It's why I want to get out of here as soon as possible. I let my voice soften. Rose, everything is going to be fine.
But, Dad...
She pleads, affecting an exaggerated whine that sounds unintentionally authentic with how weak she is. Rose has really leaned into this particular line of irony, hamming it up with the dad jokes, as if she derives some bizarre gratification from the fact of our relation. It's apparently an endless source of amusement for her. I don't get it, and I don't really care to speculate. I sigh and return back to picking through her jewelry. The tactic fucking works on me, I guess. Is this the thing you were talking about? This rock rope?
Rock? Rope?
Rose lifts herself up, barely enough to see. The effort to do just that seems like taking everything out of her. She collapses heavily after she gets a look of what I'm holding up, huffing. She collapses heavily after she gets a look at what I'm holding up, huffing in annoyance.
First of all, the word for that object is necklace. Second of all, that book, purple, don't patronize me. I'm dying.
I can't make heads or tails of any of this shit. It's a big pile of shiny garbage. If you're so concerned about it, why don't you come over here and pick out what you'd want to pack yourself? I expect at least an aggravated retort, but nothing comes. I glance back and see that her eyes have grown glassy and distant, like two round-cut amethysts. Her smile seems due less to fondness than stupefaction. The circles under her eyes are dark, and her head is cushioned on an arm bent beneath it. Keeping her eyes trained on me seems to be the only energy she's able to expend anymore. The omniscient sickness is wreaking havoc on her, and I should hurry up. I'm glad I never had to feel whatever she's going through. Not everyone can be built like me. It just means I carry a greater responsibility to take care of those more fragile, especially the ones most important to me. I go through the motions of picking things out of her drawers, just grabbing stuff at random because, like I said, it doesn't matter. When she next speaks, it seems her mind has wandered. Her voice is as distant as her expression.
Are you sure Kanaya is gonna be okay with this?
I slide a drawer shut and shove whatever it is I'm holding back into the bag without looking. There's no need to worry about that.
How will we break it to her?
You're not well enough to stress over this. You should just let me handle it. I can make her understand. What's happening here is the best thing for everybody. She'll come to see that someday. Rose breathes in deeply and exhales. She allows herself to close her eyes and tries to forget these troubling thoughts of the wife she's about to leave. Speaking of which, Kanaya is on her way back to the apartment. She's blocks away, frantically running in the direction of this building. She's a pretty fast runner, but she'll have to run faster than that if she wants to bust in here and cause a scene before we go. She senses she isn't going to make it up here in time, and slows to a stop. She takes a moment to consider how she's going to play this. She's beside herself with rage. Her phone is out, poised to call someone, probably me, but she needs to gather her thoughts and figure out what to say. She knows she's been played by now, she's sure of it, and so has to think of exactly what she can say to me to stop this from happening, or if nothing else, delay it long enough to force a confrontation. At least, these are all the things she's telling herself right now. They're only thoughts, after all. Things she decided she believes, after neurotically parsing certain patterns of behavior from me and her wife. I guess, from her ignorant, alien position, it's reasonable to be suspicious that something shady is going on, but is it really? Is she sure she's not misunderstanding something? Could she have misread the signals or falsely assigned nefarious intent to a perfectly innocent series of events? As her breathing slows and her calm is gradually restored, suddenly she isn't so sure. Maybe she's gotten this wrong all along. If you want my take, I think she's gotten this wrong all along. That's right, Kanaya. You have been getting this wrong all along since the beginning. Your head is spinning with doubt now. Why were you running so fast? Why was your heart beating like this? You find a nearby bench on the sidewalk and sit down to really reflect on this, to question everything you've been getting so worked up over. The thing is, what you're suddenly questioning isn't so much about whether your suspicions that Rose and I have been sneaking around behind your back are wrong per se. It's that you're starting to wonder if they're right. But you've been the one who was wrong to object. This revelation hits you like a kick in the chest. It's heavy, it hurts, but only for a moment. And then you find it's like a weight lifting off your shoulders to finally face the truth. If Rose has been spending more time with me than you, if she's realizing she resonates more with me due to our natural similarities and finds my presence more rewarding than yours, then what does that say about you, Kanaya? Doesn't it confirm what you've always suspected deep down? That as flattering as it was that someone like Rose would give you the time of day, and as nice as that made you feel for as long as she was willing to put up with you, the truth is, on some level, you always understood that you were never good enough for her. Pale green tears are flowing down your face. You have no idea how long you've been crying. You just noticed only now, because you finally decided to confront the harsh reality of your marriage. It was always an illusion. You put your face in your hands and sob. The catharsis is relieving, bittersweet. Years of suppressed insecurities melt away. You're finally free of this. Alone, yes, but free. And so is she. You love her with all your heart, and because of that, you genuinely want what's best for her. Whatever will make her happy, and knowing this, that truly all you ever hoped for was to help her be happy, to be the best person she could be. It brings you comfort. It quells the grief into a dull ache, one that you'll be grateful to keep for the rest of your life, because it will always remind you of what you had with her. The tears have stopped flowing. You feel them drying on your face in the cool breeze. Your eyes are clear and focused. You know what you must do now. There is no crisis. There is nothing in which to intervene. Nothing to stop. You tap your phone. You hold it up to your ear.
Rose. Rose, sweetheart.
Kanaya, I'm so...
Rose, it's okay. I know everything.
You do?
Yes, I understand what's going on now. I just want you to know how happy you made me.
Oh, Kanaya.
I won't be long. I just need to say a couple things, while I can, before I get too emotional about this. I finally get it. I know you and he belong together. I really hope you will both be happy wherever you're going and whatever you decide to do. I will always be thinking of you, and be grateful for the life we have together.
I'll always remember you, Kanaya. Thank you so much for understanding. I didn't know how to... I thought surely you would be.
Roses turns her face into the bed to muffle her sobs. I'm holding the phone up to her ear. I move the phone quickly to follow the movement of her head.
It's fine, really, sweetheart. I love you.
I love you too.
Goodbye, Rose.
Before Kanaya hangs up, I quickly bring the phone up to my ear to say a few words. Hey, Kanaya. Thanks for getting in touch before we take off. We both really appreciate that.
Oh, sure.
I'll take very good care of her. I promise.
Thank you, Dirk.
Hey, one last thing. Before you head back to the Brooding Caverns or wherever, think you can do me a favor?
Of course.
You've probably heard by now that Jade is sick. In a coma or something. She's in the hospital.
Yes.
I've got an antidote for that. Medicine of sorts. If you give it to her, it'll wake her up almost immediately. I left it here on the counter in your apartment. You can come pick it up and bring it to her at your leisure.
I see. Yes, I can do that.
Awesome. Well, later. I hang up and toss the phone on the floor. She'll be here soon. So it's time to wrap this up. Rose is exhausted. Emotionally, physically, the works. She's nodding off but struggling to stay awake. She doesn't want to miss anything important, but there's nothing left to do here. There's no reason to put any more strain on her than necessary. I pull out a syringe with the same stuff as usual. Worked wonders on Jake, then Jade. Should knock Rose out well enough for the long ride ahead. I inject it in her arm, and her head drops down almost instantly. I pick her up and carry her like a sleeping princess. It slips my mind to bring along her bag of stuff. I walk to the sliding glass door, open it, and we fly away.
Fuck Dirk.
God,
Fuck
what an
Dirk.
irrepressible
Not in the way that he
asshole.
would like.
Fuck
him
Dirk.
platonically.
Yeah. Oh, fuck you, Dirk. Yes, I'm transphobic. Yes, I'm lesbophobic. We exist. Dirk is the transphobic, lesbophobic gay man that we've all known in our lives.
He's the mask for mask, sort of transphobic douchebag. Christ.
Dirk is he's just such a fucking, God, he's got the emotional energy of a 5,000-year virgin, to quote V.
Jesus Christ.
Alright.
How are we feeling?
Dirk Strider, that's a line from later. I'll say it later.
Okay, Sega, you feeling alright to...
Am I feeling okay?
Yeah, well, I mean, to do this next chapter, but are you feeling alright in general?
I'm good. I might seem a little tired, but I'm here. I'm like, there's not that much left. I'm determined to see this through till the end.
Yeah. Sort of grim determination, I think, is...
I'm floating above the subject matter of all of this. This is just
Yeah.
immensely interesting to me.
We got a couple donations.
Pretty much.
Becca Versrezi joined us earlier. Morning donation. Sorry I won't be joining y'all for the end, but you're way ahead and I need to study for finals and shit. Here's to getting that goal. Carmen Marquez gave $25 and said, John, my boy, with a crying face. Tooch Matucci said, Holmes Tuck, and gave $4.20.
Thanks so much, Tooch. That's my friend.
Oh, all right. A Holmes Tuck. We are now at $4,841. We are 79% to our new stretch goal. All right. Let's move forward to Meet 38. Let's see here. Taz, take us away whenever you're ready.
But before we get completely out of Dodge, there's one more trifling matter I'd better take care of. It's a big day, but not one my dear brother-son and his irascible boy... wife seem to be relishing. Dave and Karkat are both squatting in their shameful bunker of defeat, all the curtains drawn shut so that the sunlight cannot disturb an atmosphere that was carefully cultivated to facilitate their sourpuss moping. The only illumination emanating from their television screen, which broadcasts a bright and sunny scene of Jane's inauguration. He stands at a podium in front of a crowd of thousands of her adoring fans and subjects, belting out one killer speech. I wrote it, so you know it's good. But the mood in here is heavy. I think they've been coasting on denial for a while, but today is the day they finally have to accept that there are no takebacks, no do-overs. Jane is the president, and that's that. Clark gets all balled up on the couch as he stares hatefully at the televised production. He doesn't look up when Dave walks back into the room carrying 2 massive bottles of liquor.
Hey, wanna get drunk?
Huh?
Huh?
I went and got all this fucking booze.
You got booze?
Yeah, check it.
You actually went and got it. Like, you literally left the house and exchanged currency with a real live person to obtain alcohol.
Yeah, I walked to the boozery all pigeon-toed and embarrassed like some fucking hooch noob. Was like, yo, what's the most pathetic thing you got to drink yourself to death with?
The boozery?
Passed right by the box wine. The bagged wine. The shots they put in those little blister packs by the register. The wine in the little sippy cups with the disposable plastic straws like the juice made for fucking babies. I made that last one up. I don't actually know anything about alcohol. Anyway, 2 plastic soda bottles full of vodka cooler seems to be about where we're at right now. I think that's what this is anyway. I don't really care as long as it gets the job done. I decided that I'm an alcoholic now.
I've always found inebriation to be distasteful, really. Never understood the personal appeal of it, and after seeing how indelicately its effects have touched the other members of our family, I can't help but feel like it's a waste of everybody's fucking time. I'd have half a mind to tell him to dump it all in the sink if I weren't cutting it down to the wire as it is. But you know what? Go the fuck ahead, bro. Might help him ease might help him ease those ridiculous inhibitions for once in his life. Slide the stick out of his ass. Maybe slide something else up there instead, if you catch my drift. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here. At this stage, anything could happen. Dave sits beside Karkat on the couch and sets the alcohol down on the table in front of him. He sinks heavily into the cushioning with a sigh. Hey, remember way earlier in this narrative when Dirk was calling out the audience for being for being voyeuristic? This is like Dirk.
Dirk's living for this. Have you now?
Yeah, it's never too late to develop a substance abuse problem. I've been thinking about it for a while, and it seems like it's finally time for me to get on not being on the wagon.
That's really great, Dave.
Thanks. Anyway, how's the inauguration? You seem to be having a good time dwelling on every tiny little factor that cumulatively led up to our electoral defeat. And how if just one thing had been different, it would have been us up there.
You and I both know nothing madder than that campaign but Jake's fucking speech.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just keep imagining what would have happened if that absurd Rube Goldberg machine of a life-ruining humiliation had been stopped at any point. Maybe just being backstabbed by his endorsement alone was something that we could have recovered from with some rigorous counter-campaigning, but what if I had been fast enough to cut him off before he'd even said anything? What if I hadn't accidentally fallen on him on the stage when I was rushing over there to stop him? What if he hadn't freaked out like I set up fireworks next to a nom vet and started trying to fucking scrum me? What if I just backed away from his punch with my legs like a normal instead of warping the flow of time to escape, causing him to become so startled he shit his pants? What if I hadn't gotten so visibly grossed out by the smell that even the people watching it on TV could tell what had happened? What if he hadn't started sobbing when the audience in the front rows started throwing up? What if we'd had better security and stopped that lady from running on stage during the fracas and announcing that Jake has been dodging paying child support for their 3 kids. Like, what was the line?
It wasn't that bad.
You think?
Karkat falls into a vacant 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm an alcoholic now. Want a drink?
I have sympathy. I really do. It's tough to devote so much time and effort to something, come so close to tasting victory, just to have it snatched out of your grasp at the final instant. I might even feel bad about it in any other circumstance. But this was how things had to be. It's better this way. They know that. At least, Karkat certainly does.
If I'm being perfectly fucking honest, I'm glad I lost. I never wanted to fucking win in the first place.
Dude, come on.
No, I'm being serious. I'm not even doing some sour grapes I never wanted it in the first place because I'm a sore loser trying to delude myself into thinking I don't care sort of thing. Obviously, I fucking care now. I fucking care since now the planet is going to be completely ruined by this jumped-up fascist dictator who has every intention of gradually genociding my species into non-existence before my very eyes. But I cannot fucking think of a single thing in the universe I wanted to do less than be the stupid fucking president. Thank human Obama.
Wait, was there a troll Obama?
I'm the fucking troll Obama, remember?
Karkat, you would have been so much more than Obama.
God damn if that isn't the most romantic fucking thing I've ever heard. If Karkat had anything resembling a spine, he turned to Dave with those big, sparkling shoujo eyes and finally opened his tsundere heart to consummating their painfully obvious and mutually reciprocated passion. But he doesn't, so he gives a non-committal little sniff and turns back to the inauguration instead. Obviously, I've got an agenda here. It's pretty clear to me what these guys want out of this relationship, despite the fact that both of them being bottoms evidently makes it impossible for them to pass whatever last ludicrous psychological obstacle stands between them and non-stop animalistic fucking. I've let it go on like this for long enough. These stooges clearly need some help. I could insist that they just fucking go for it already using the methods available to me. I'd rather not. There are certain boundaries I'm not inclined to cross, primarily in service to the emotional integrity of my friends' respective personal arcs. The little moments like these don't mean anything if they're coming from me, do they? As such, insistence isn't the tool I'd prefer. Persuasion is the one I reach for. And in a case like this, I can't imagine it's going to take that much. They fall into another silence that's more comfortable than it has any right to be. The crowd is really going nuts for Jane now, since she's hit one of the best parts of my speech. She's just blasting the fuck off about how good the economy's going to get. I can feel Dave's teeth grinding all the way down to the narrative fabric of reality. Dave reaches out for the booze. It's past time to get wasted, he thinks. But Karkat is starting to realize how much all of Dave's efforts mean to him. It's really welling up inside him. He's so emotional about it, he can't help but say something.
Hey!
Dave stops with his arm outstretched. His gaze turns to meet Karkat's, but Karkat can't bear to hold the eye contact for long. Looking at Dave is like staring straight at the sun. He is awfully handsome, isn't he? Then again, crawling out of a primo gene pool does have its benefits.
Yeah, buddy, what's up? Hey, don't worry about it. You don't have to explain yourself to me. I get it. It makes sense. I'd always felt the same way, kind of. Like, about all my shit with Esperb and whatever. The reluctant hero's journey. That feeling where you're being dragged along to being a kind of guy that everyone's saying you have to be, but you never really felt like there's any way that you can really become. Where every second you feel so sick. Your own self-doubt and fear that you can't bear to imagine the future. And you think, why me? Even though you know it can't be anyone but you, and that's why you do it.
Yeah.
LOL.
I wasn't trying to explain myself, though. I just wanted to thank you.
Huh? For what?
Karkat's eyes drift from the TV to the floor. The slightest of smiles tugs at the corners of his mouth. He feels something warm inside of his chest. It feels right. It's something he needs to say.
For everything. Even if we didn't win, I'm glad we tried. I'm glad we went through this together.
Me too.
More than anything, You believe in me in a way nobody ever has before. More than I've ever been able to believe in myself. And I've never really felt like this before.
Felt like what?
I mean, like, you know, it's not like I've ever had friends before, people I care about. But when people tell me that they care about me, on some level, it's hard for me to really buy it. They can list whatever justifications they have for liking me, and it all feels like bullshit. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You can't really expect me to believe you seriously think this about me. There's no way you actually see me that way. You just feel bad for me. You're just talking down to me like I'm some sort of pathetic wriggler who needs to be coddled. Or you're just imagining I'm whatever way you wish I would be. Some person who's better and smarter and stronger and kinder and more valuable than the person I really am. I can never understand why anyone I care about would ever waste their fucking time on me, but with you...
Karkat draws his breath and curls up on himself. His instinct is to pull back, but he's fighting it now. He needs to see this one through to the end.
But with you, it makes sense, I guess. When you say something nice to me, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's comprehensible. I see how you got from point A to point B. I can know you the way that I do and think about you, who you are, and I can understand why you'd want someone like me beside you. I don't have to wonder what's missing. You're on my level, and I'm on yours. I believe that you see me in front of the way I actually am, for better or for worse, and still like me anyway. So, even though it's still hard for me to believe in myself a lot of the time, I believe in you, so I don't need to.
So, what you're saying is, you believe in me who believes in you.
Dave, please.
Yeah, kind of. Fuck, man, that's kind of deep.
I know.
So, yeah, that's what I've never really felt before, and I'm glad that we're...
Come on, you're so close.
I'm glad you're my friend, Dave.
Oh, for the love of God. This is practically slapstick at this point. My friend? That was the most excruciatingly overblown and socially maladapted love confession I've ever had the displeasure of witnessing, including my own, and he still managed to fumble it into obscurity at the last moment. The guy was barreling in for an unimpeded touchdown and took a hard left straight into the friend zone. It's not like Dave is stupid. He's picking up on the subtext. It's just Karkat's cop-out that's filling him with doubt. It was a little too obviously sentimental. So obvious that maybe the friend thing was a deliberate warning. Maybe relationships aren't a thing Karkat can really do. Maybe if Dave crosses the line, he'll ruin everything. Better this excruciating liminal space, something more than friendship but not quite love, than nothing at all. I look Dave right in mind's eye and tell him to cut it the fuck out. He wants it, you want it, so just go for it, my man. It's now or never.
Oh. Same.
I feel every brain cell in my immortal body begin to perish in real time. Dave, you cannot actually be that bad at this. How the hell are you walking around with my genes and still acting like this?
So...
Look, even you can manage to top this guy. You've got it easy, dude. He's gonna open up for you like you just rolled up on a Denny's at 3 a.m. with all the boys and a Groupon. You can do it right here on the couch if you want. Dave scrunches up his face a little like he's constipated. Okay, maybe I'm getting a bit worked up. I need to dial it back.
Is something wrong?
Huh, no. Sorry, I just had an absolutely insane train of thought that kind of sent me for a loop.
What?
No, it's extremely better that I don't tell you. I kind of forgot what we were talking about because it was so awful.
Huh.
You were talking about Karkat's feelings? He just dropped some touching-ass bomb about believing in you and believing in him or whatever. You should really get to the root of where this is all coming from.
Oh, right, yeah, all that shit you said about us being friends and on the same level or whatever. Yeah, I feel the same way, basically. Or, like, well,
What?
I'm not sure that I
Go on.
I'm kind of getting the feeling that maybe there's a level to what we're thinking that isn't entirely coming across in words. And since we don't have the right words, getting to the right actions either.
What are you talking about?
I feel like maybe we feel the same way about certain things, but what we're saying and what we're feeling, maybe those aren't exactly the same thing, and maybe we should.
We should. What?
Maybe it's time to talk about that.
Alright, hang on. No, I have to clear something up in the chat. I'm pretty sure Jake never says that Dirk bullied him into a relationship. Dirk said that about himself, about Jake. But Jake himself has never said that Dirk bullied him into a relationship, to my memory. I'm very sleep deprived, so I might be wrong.
You are correct, Taz. The only appearance of bullied in this is Dirk saying, sometimes I look back on stuff and think I might have essentially bullied him into a relationship with me. Actually, it's more complicated than that. Parts of me were operating independently for myself. So it's like I was bullying myself into bullying him to liking me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I am all the way down for this version of Dirk here being like extremely, extremely shit. There's no part of that that's splashing onto Homestuck comic Dirk for me. That there's extremely extenuating circumstances to how Dirk got here, and that's like my take. That's like just me, but like I feel that very strongly. So since I'm here, anyway, Karkat looks like a deer caught. No, wait. Well, I guess this is progress.
Yeah. That?
Yeah, like how when you say we're friends, what does that mean?
That we're friends.
Yeah, but is that it? Just friends?
Tess.
Karkat looks like a deer caught in the headlights.
Of course not. You're my best friend.
Oh. I see.
I've literally been decapitated, and that was less unbearable than this. I don't understand it. I just want you to be happy, man. Why can't you make anything easy for yourself?
Well, okay then.
Whatever. I kind of don't have time for this shit. The gloves are coming off. The anime ninja training weights are history. It's time to get down to business. You look into Karkat's eyes. You see that twinkle? That's devotion, you unbelievably dense neutron star of a dumb shit. It's sparkling like a visit from your fairy fucking godmother. That shit is pure and true. A supernova of all your hopes and dreams swirling together like a radially effervescing kaleidoscope of more hot boy peckers than you could ever imagine.
Dave?
But you aren't imagining any peckers other than the one right in front of you. Karkat's probably quite modest and feminine alien... What was that sentence? Alien penis is the only one you've thought about in years. Suddenly you can't even comprehend how it is you've gone so long without kissing him. You want to so badly. It would be so easy, and you know he wouldn't turn you away.
Karkat,
Karkat's lips part, his breath held. His eyes are wide in anticipation. He looks beautiful like this, you think. All you have to do is press your mouth to his, and he'll finally know he's yours. You start to lean in. Karkat closes his eyes and relaxes into your hand. He's ready. It's happening. It's fucking happening.
Wait, fuck.
What? What are you doing? Oh my god. I'm throwing my hands up in the air in the middle of the other shit I'm doing because this sucks just that much.
What's wrong? Did I do something?
No, I just can't. Shit, it feels like...
It feels like nothing, Dave. Don't worry about it.
Whatever the fuck is going on, this really feels off.
Huh?
I don't know. I just keep having thoughts I know I'd never think.
Oh, come the fuck on. I'm going to have an aneurysm. He's hearing me, but not listening to me. This dude has such a titanium grasp on his own born-again virginity that not even the literal hand of God can compel him to kiss his own goddamn boyfriend.
What is that supposed to mean?
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
Dave pulls away. Karkat looks like he's about to throw up. I'm about to throw up, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't know what to do at this point. He doesn't know it's me, but he's fighting my influence with every ounce of strength he's got. If I push any further, things could get messy, epistemologically speaking. I could try more of a backdoor approach and nudge them towards the sauce, but I don't know if even that would help at this stage, and my timetable for direct physical intervention is fairly limited. I take a deep breath and get myself under control. My light psychological intrusions may have only made things worse. Invested as I am in the outcome of this encounter, I know forcing their hand would be a mistake. If Dave passes that threshold not of his own will, it'd be a hollow victory anyway. There's nothing I can do but settle down, step it back, and trust my boy to bring it home. The gears are turning in Dave's head. He knows he stands at a precipice, but what he decides here could mean everything. Maybe that forced kiss seemed wrong, but he knows what he feels, doesn't? He can't deny that. And he can't just forget the fact that when he went for it, Karkat wasn't pulling away. At the end of the day, he knows what the truth is. Really, he always has. So what are you going to do about it, Dave? This time, it's really up to you. Dave meets Karkat's eyes in a rare moment of clarity. It's then, I think, that they both finally realize what's been obvious to everyone else all along. With a measured motion, Dave pulls his shades off his face. If Karkat was stunned before, he's even more stunned now. The privilege of a Strider eye moment is about the most earth-shattering experience a young man will ever have in his life. For once, neither of them have anything stupid to say. All they have is an electric connection that is no longer possible to ignore. Dave brings his hand back up to Karkat's cheek in a gesture much more confident than the last. He's not rushing anything this time. He's only doing what feels right, taking it each second at a time. Karkat's tension begins to dissipate from his body in stages. His stiff shoulders drop, his guarded expression relaxes, and when he covers Dave's hand with his own, he's not shaking at all. Karkat helps Dave slip his hand from the side of his face around to cup the nape of his neck. It's a tender, steadying touch. Dave applies only the slightest of pressure to draw him forward, and Karkat follows his lead. They're so close that Dave can feel Karkat's shallow breath ghosting over his skin. Karkat's eyes are shimmering and wet as they flutter closed, moisture beading in his thick eyelashes. His tongue darts out to wet his lips. All that's left is just one more step. Just one final inch and it's over. They both move to close the distance at the same time. There's a second where both of them freeze like that, still in the intimate contact. Nothing but the warmth of each other's bodies and the dawning realization of a significant boundary closed. Dave draws in a sharp breath, lets his lips part, and just a little more. That's it. Yes! Wait, Dave, don't linger. Some lines of stress appear on his face. He's struggling with something. No. Dave, don't fucking do this. He's grinding his teeth and putting both hands up to his temples. Beads of sweat dot his brow. This is so fucking real. Holy shit, Dave, if you so much as...
Get the fuck out of my head and just let me do this myself!
Huh?
Dude, come here.
Oh my god, he fucking just... Wow. Dave lunges forward and kisses Karkat directly on the mouth. It's like a dam has burst. Neither of them could hold anything back now, even if they wanted to. It's like... God damn, I'm sorry. I'm blowing the description here. I'm missing a lot of good shit. It just caught me so off guard. Dave, my dude, I'm so proud of you. Okay, I can do this. I fucking need to do this justice. Cracks the motherfucking knuckles of a yaoi poet and gets down to business. You know what? Nah. I'm not going to intercede with a single word further, and I won't let you either. I won't cheapen this beautiful moment with my base editorialization just to satisfy your voyeuristic curiosity. Frankly, I'm offended you'd even expect me to. What they're getting up to here is nobody's business but their. Dave Cat is canon, and that's really all there is to say on the matter. Let's give these crazy lovebirds some privacy and move on.
Oh my god.
My crops have been watered.
Dave Cat is canon. Again.
Dave Cat's canon. Dave Cat's from... Dave Cat is canon is canon.
Dave Cat is always canon. It's a universal constant that Dave and Karkat love each other. Indisputed fact.
The stars have collided.
Alright. Feminine alien penis.
I hate this Dirk so much.
Alright, it's time for me to slip back on the reins of villainy. I like all of us just taking turns, not trying not to overload ourselves on being Dirk. Dude, that's Dirk's fundamental problem, is that he's overloaded himself on being Dirk.
It's beyond painful.
Dirk is a hot
This
potato.
is the big Dirkjake chapter. I am Jake. I have claimed this mantle for my own.
All right.
Oh
well,
no!
I mean,
wait, it was Pip.
We literally have a casting channel where we do these things. But if you want me to break your heart instead, that's also fine.
No, that's fine. Give it Pip. Sorry, I'm just like I was just wearing the dark mantle of Dirk, so I've been overcome by his villainous aura.
No. You know what? I have moral objections to playing Jake that I have said on previous occasions.
I was wondering
I'm gonna
about
uphold
that.
my own standards here. Jake, Taz, you're Jake.
I thought you just wanted to flirt with me.
I mean, let's not do this here.
God. Getting the lore, I guess. All right.
You gotta
let's
give
do
the people
this.
something. They've toughed it out on this stream for so long.
They really have. You're all heroes.
All right. Let's. I love this stream so much. We love you too. All right. I'm inside Jake's mansion. It's just as idiotically garish as the last time I saw it. There was once a time I swore I'd never set foot in here again, for various reasons I won't get into. Jake is the type of guy who makes you say stuff like that. But he's also the type who reminds you to never say never.
Sorry,
What?
Kate, can I interrupt? Jen is leaving. One of the authors of the epilogue is having to bow out, so I thought we'd say
Jen,
goodbye.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your reading time on the stream. Thank you so much for joining us in chat. And thank you so much for putting this incredible thing out into the world.
Just thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks you so much, Jen.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go, champ. Thank you so much for coming by. We love you. We appreciate you. To Andrew, to V, to Jen, to Aisha, to Lalo. you guys fucking rock. I am so glad you put this out into the world. It is, dare I say, a relevant, essential, and true piece of media, and something that we all needed in 2019.
That's definitely true.
All right, and I know that there's been some controversy about it. But
Sounds fake.
Yeah,
This is Homestuck. It goes as hard as I would expect the Homestuck epilogue to go. It
yeah,
went a lot
I believe
deeper on
pretty
shit.
firmly that that it's gonna blow over. Before I keep going, actually, John Raynon gave $25. I just keep thinking about how Dirk having the knowledge and power of the narrative voice is just like the worst possible thing for him in his fucking puppet master BS. Although actually, John wrote Pupper Master. Pupper Master BS. A heckin' doggo. Lyric Hartwell says, a final donation because I love Dave Petta and Calliope and Roxy, and also Homestuck, the whole stream, and everyone who's part of the stream. Trans rights. Thank you so much for your donations. The Pupper Master. We are now at $4,868. We are 79% of the way to our stretch goal of over $6,000. It is awesome. It is awesome what you guys have contributed to this stream. Thank you so much. All right, back to it then. He's also the type who reminds you to never say never. Here I fucking am again. In this useless dickhead's dime store McMansion, but only because I need one of his ships. Rose is still asleep from the drugs. I put her on that monstrous overstuffed velvet couch over there. My guy Squarewave is here too. I need his help today because there's a lot of cargo to wrangle. He's wheeling something around on a hand truck. Something about the height of Rose, roughly rose-shaped and wrapped in a cloth. I know she's gonna love it the first time she sees it, but the only way she'll be able to do that is when she's awake and looking in a mirror. Jake owns Skyanet, a company which, among other things, manufactures spaceships. They do a stiff business selling these rigs, especially with all the new military contracts the Crocker administration has been handing out. If it weren't for his connection to a good supply of quality starcraft, I'm honestly not sure I'd even bother stopping by before leaving. I'd have to think about it. Yeah, we're friends, I suppose, but there isn't really much I have to say to this guy anymore. But as long as I'm here, I have to confess I've been mulling over a few choice remarks to let him chew on while I'm gone. I didn't tell him I'd be coming. That would be a scene. He'd prepare too much, roll out the red carpet, so to speak, suggest plans, stammer nervously, and throw on something a bit more skin-hugging than usual. I may have already mentioned, but I'm a bit too deft at this for my own good. Doing the thing where I tug at the part of someone's latent thought process that already knows they adore me. That if someone would just pull the stops from their sense of inhibition, they would realize they would do anything for me. Though I could be overselling my methods of persuasion while shortchanging my natural aura of charisma and dashing good looks. Maybe I'm just that fucking charming. There are times when I actually do manage to underestimate my positive qualities, believe it or not. Normally, corralling Jake's attention is like greasing up your whole naked body and tackling a shrieking hog on rocket states. But there was always a part of his mind that was conflicted about me. Intrigued, titillated, wary. But now he's just plain obsessed. That wasn't really what I was going for, but hey, with political warfare comes collateral damage. It's harmless enough, anyway. It's not like I gave him a sick car or anything that would hurt his value as a sick scar or anything that would hurt his value as a priceless sexual commodity. The only thing affected was his brain. It's a bit like if someone hacked a comments section. Who gives a shit?
Dirk!
I glance up the stairs where he's standing on the precipice overlooking the foyer. Yeah, he definitely wasn't expecting company. He's completely nude except for a pair of boxers with a pattern of green skulls, pistols, and some shapes that maybe are supposed to be pot leaves. He blunders down the stairs at top speed, runs over, and gives me a huge bro hug, making my spine pop. God, he's so fucking strong. I hate that the brief feeling of being crushed by this oaf makes my dick twitch slightly. Hey, Jake.
Well, isn't this a heap of shillelaghs and shamrocks? I had no idea you had plans to visit my humble abode, to swing about the old manor du chez Ingles, as they say.
That's 3 different fucking languages.
So what brings you here, pal? I seem to recall the last time you were bumming about the Brumpus Cabana, you swore some sort of blood oath you'd never set foot in here again, with one of your customary dramatic flourishes.
Yeah, well, I meant it at the time. Let's just leave it at that.
Okie doke. Gosh, it's so good to see you. So good.
He's gently stroking the side of my arm now, making no effort to disguise his interest in the contours of my muscles. I use that arm to put a hand on his shoulder in an affable way, so that he's forced to stop. Listen, man. You got a spare spaceship lying around? We're going on a trip. I nod over in the direction of the couch. Jake's eyebrows shoot up.
Oh, I didn't even notice Rose there. Wow, she looks really zonked. Bad hangover, I presume? Hold the phone. Wasn't she supposed to be off the sauce? Or is that not a thing anymore?
It's not a hangover. She's just tired. Can you help us out?
Of course, mate. I've got freaking scads of the things lying around. Prototypes, top secret experimental models, Galaxy-class ballbusters dog-eared for the white shirts and the gumbit. They pay some tidy coin for all this industrial military what's-it, you know.
I'm gritting my teeth, focusing on breathing steadily. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Anything, really. Something fast.
Fast! We can do fast.
He scurries over to a new money-looking Baroque antique cabinet, his ample junk swinging about in his loose boxers, free as a jaybird. He opens a small door and rifles through a stack of stray papers and captcha-log cards.
Here's one. Oughta do you splendidly.
Thanks, bro. I take it. We're almost through this dirty little bit of business. I know there's more, though. There always is with him. In fact, here it comes. I can smell it a mile away. I know exactly what he's about to say, and the buoyant obliviousness with which he'll say it.
So, where are we going?
Yeah, I thought this misunderstanding might happen. My bad, man. I wasn't that clear up front. We aren't going anywhere. It's just me and Rose on this trip.
Oh, I see. Well, when you live the married life, I suppose from time to time one must get away from the old ball and chain one way or another. So it's a stag night of sorts. In space. With a gay girl instead of a fella. And not me.
Yes. Jake falls quiet for a moment as his pitiful pea brain struggles to process the shocking information.
Gadzooks! Well, say no more then. So, how long will you be away? Does Kanaya know about all these shenanigans?
Yes, we've discussed it. She's okay with it.
Woo! Good to see there's no trouble in paradise. They've always had the most lovely marriage. On the other hand, you know how those dames can be. Rach!
He shakes his fist to demonstrate whatever bad point he's making.
There are times, let me tell you, how I feel when I dodged a bullet by not jumping at the matrimonial broom with Jane. I love her to death, obviously, and I'd do fucking anything for her, especially now that she's El Presidente. El Presidente? God, I hate this. Cripes. Woo boy, sometimes I can hardly believe how that sounds, but it sure is what happened, isn't it? Partly thanks to a humdinger of a speech by yours truly. But, wow, never mind that old saw. What I'm saying is, I don't know what I'm saying. We guys need to stick together sometimes and live our lives and not, well, play such ornamental roles in the lives of our important and powerful womanly counterparts dear to us though they be. I think maybe I'm saying we should hang out more, Dirk? No pressure, I mean. When you get back from your extraterrestrial camping trip, of course. When did you say you were coming back?
I won't. He's sweating, more nervous than I've ever seen him before. Stammering, desperate. I need to be brutally direct with this poor guy. Enough's enough. I won't be coming back, Jake. His mouth is hanging open. Not a shred of restraint in his crestfallen posture. But he needs to hear this. All of it.
Like, wait, you aren't...
coming back, ever.
Ever?
Yeah.
But I don't... Why, Dirk?
The tears are starting to come. His composure is breaking. He's staring intently at my face, as if trying to drink in every precious moment of what he knows in his heart will be the last time we ever see each other. He takes in every drop of light reflecting from my beautiful face, the sculpted cheekbones, the warrior's eyebrows, the deadly serious yet exquisitely kissable mouth. This is the face he lives for now, a visage that in mere minutes will vanish from his life forever. The tears drop. His voice cracks.
Please, please take me with you, Dirk.
I can't do that, Jake. It's not within the parameters of the mission.
But what mission? I can't do this alone, Dirk. This life, this... whatever is happening now, whatever's expected of me, I can't do it. Not without you.
You're gonna have to, man. Jane needs you now more than ever. She has a tough road ahead. It's hard running a planet, but she'll whip it into shape. I trust her, and so should you.
But...
She needs you at her side. If all goes well, she'll rule Earthsea for millions of years, and you'll be critical to that reign.
But I don't know what to do, Dirk. I don't know how to help someone rule. I wouldn't know the first thing about strategy or advising or policy or...
I almost burst out laughing, but I managed to control myself. Jake, nobody wants you to do any of that. Well, I know Jane sure doesn't.
Then what?
You'll just be, you know, her candy boy.
Candy boy?
Yeah, being on call, serving a multi-million-year term of giving her the right kind of presidential action she needs to keep going, to keep her morale up and such, to provide her with many heirs. Doesn't that sound cool?
Heirs?
Yeah, like kids. A lot of them. Think about it. You could have thousands of kids. They'll all grow old and die because they aren't god tiers like both of you are. But you just keep having more. Sounds pretty badass to me, like getting to live through your entire future family tree. To watch your own endlessly branching dynasty flourish. I'm almost a little jealous.
No! That sounds dreadful. Dirk, please.
I glance at a clock on the wall. This needs to end soon. There are a lot of important things that still need to be done, and this sure isn't one of them. Time to man up, Jake. This is what your life is now. It's only bad if you treat it this way. It's actually fantastic. Someday you'll get it.
No, Dirk. I can't bear to let you go. You've meant so much to me my whole life. I probably did a bad job of showing that because I'm such a shitty, blubbering, fucking numbnut idiot. You don't think I know I'm a fucking bonehead who no one respects, but you're all I ever had to keep me anchored to any feeling of true self-worth I ever had. You taught me so much. Remember the old days in Spurb, Dirk? Those days were the absolute bee's knees. Christopher Clowncock, Dirk. You taught me about combat, philosophy, life, love, Dirk. I'm so bad with feelings. I never said it when we were together, but I love you, Dirk. I love you. There, I said it. I love you. I've never loved anyone so much in my whole life.
He waits a second for a response, but my face doesn't move a muscle. He won't dare waste this momentum, though. He threw in the penny. Here comes the pound.
Dirk, I'm begging you. Just take me with you. It's fine. You don't have to love me. I'm okay with that. Whatever you want. I just need to be with you. Near you. Anything. I can't stay here. Please, not without you. I want to be anywhere but here as long as it's with you.
He explodes into tears, a sloppy volcanic eruption of mucus, ugly noises, and the tatters of a bared soul. He begins slumping to the ground, but I grab his shoulders roughly and lift him up with a violent jerk. I look into his eyes furiously. My glare is incinerating. It halts his infantile wailing like a cranky baby somewhere just got tossed into the vacuum of space. He's scared. No, terrified. of being left with no one who truly cares for him, of the magnitude of his raw, perilously unearthed feelings. But most of all, right here, right now, he's terrified of me. I pull him close with all my strength, flush to my body, wrap my arms around him to cradle the back of his head in my calloused palm, and I kiss him. It's the softest kiss I've ever given. My lips yield in a way that feels to him impossibly, miraculously forgiving. Like cannonballing into a frozen lake only to discover that it's not frozen at all. It's not even water. It's a sheet of 1,000 layers of silk. It's a pool of 1,000,000,000 discrete, tiny, shimmering beads of chilled mercury. It's the final gentle exhale of the most beautiful symphony ever played. It's the soothing, mythically rumored oasis where the satyrs and nymphs once took pleasure and together forged the very concept of comfort we understand today. It lasts a fleeting moment. 2 ticks of the clock over there. 2 ticks longer than anyone will ever kiss him like that again. 2 ticks longer than he ever deserved. I move my hands up to his face, and with my palms on his wet cheeks, I gently push his head about 6 inches away from my face and say, "I'm sorry, Jake, but I'll never let you break my heart again." Abruptly, I turn and walk to the couch. I pick up Rose, nod at Squarewave. He springs into action, pushing the hand truck out the door. Without looking back, I follow and slam the door behind me. Da 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 da.
I'm glad you feel like you're able to laugh, Kate.
Vriska Circuit donated $11.11 and says, "Dirk has no rights. If you are Dirk, I will find you and then you will be sorry, Buster. Unfollow me right now if you are Dirk, have ever been Dirk, or ever will be Dirk. This is not a joke. Fucking die." Thanks, Vriska. All right. So I need to refill my water, so I'll be back in just a moment. If you want to recast Roxy or to keep rolling, then go ahead, but I'll just be a minute otherwise.
Sure thing. Gumi, are you here now? Gumi, are you here?
I am here.
Would you mind doing Roxy in this next chapter while Kate's away?
Sure, great. Let me go get that up.
Sorry, Taz, you were going to say something. Or not, maybe. Just sitting there in stunned in the sort of smouldering crater that we all collectively got suplexed into.
I'm living for this.
I was just typing out my feelings. I'm fine. The Dirkjake is happening so much that it's Vriskaing the plot. So like that's fun to watch.
I mean that's pretty much par for the course for this ship, basically.
Pretty much.
Like, yeah. Like if there's one thing that can't be denied, it's that this is the most Dirkjake that Dirkjake has ever been.
Yeah.
That was the same thing with Dave Cat, as Dave Cat got as far as it could go.
It's just incredible. I believe we have it on authority that was pretty much entirely written by Andrew, which in some sense doesn't surprise me. I mean, there are paragraphs in that I have howled with laughter reading, like every one of the 10 times that I've gone through this chapter.
Dirk is beyond Vriska because he's got like a narrative power that like far exceeds what she achieved.
Yeah,
I don't know,
Vriska thought she was important to the narrative, and Dirk literally became the narrative. Like it's like thinking you're the protagonist of your own story versus being the literal author of your own story. Like, it's wild what Dirk managed to become in this timeline.
Just wild out and become God sometimes.
Yeah.
might just fuck around and become the demiurge.
I'm wondering. I don't know. The interesting thing to me is because well, I mean, I guess I'll hold off on talking about that until we like finish meat. Actually, so never mind my rambling, struggling for words.
That would probably be a good idea. We're getting into the final stretch, so it would probably be best if we sort of try and head in as vaguely swift a manner as possible. So, if that's all right with everyone, we can just start with me, chapter 40.
Yep.
Alrighty. Kanaya Miriam is single and ready to mingle. Alright. Not really. But she's coping admirably. With the sudden departure of a beloved spouse, she's doing her best not to think about it. That's how you get past something. You put it out of your mind, train your thoughts on a hopeful future, and stop dwelling on the many little micro-failures in your past that all added up to doomed marriage. She's looking directly ahead, chin up, taking firm, confident strides. The heels of her designer shoes click loudly on the hospital linoleum. She grips the antidote I left for her with both hands as she scans the hall for the room number she got from the front desk. She hears Roxy's voice before she sees the number and follows the sound. She enters the room. There's Jade, still as a corpse, propped up slightly in her bed, as the adjacent heart monitor beeps gently. Roxy is sitting next to her in a chair, still looking every bit the slick and cool dude he's presenting as these days. Nice. There's nobody else in the room. I guess he was talking to Jade? That's very kind, but she can't hear you. Roxy. She'll be able to soon enough, though. And when she does, you'll probably want to be the one listening to what she has to say.
Oh, hey.
Hello. How is she?
Sleeping? I don't know.
Wait, I just stole Kanaya from Anna. Sorry. I was muted, and so things got recast. Anna, you want to take Kanaya, or? Nope. All right, I got it. Yes, I see. I brought this.
What's that?
Kanaya pops the cap off the EpiPen-style delivery mechanism for the antidote and jabs it into Jade's arm. Her hands twitch a bit, and her body begins to stir. Her mouth opens a crack and lets out a barely audible whisper. She opens her eyes quite wide. Suddenly, her bright green irises dart around the room, trying to solve the riddle of her present location. Roxy peers intently through his shades to get a better look. They're Jade's same old eyes, playful, intelligent, but they seem different somehow. These are eyes that have seen so much more than they had the last time they were open.
Jade! Oh my god, Jade, you're awake. How you feeling?
Jade stares at Roxy. If she mistakes him for Dave, it isn't for long. She hears the beeping next to her, glances out the window. This is a hospital room. She understands now. Her mind races, shifting through the overwhelming amount of information that becomes available to her the moment her trance began. The scope of her awareness she now understands is truly staggering. Memories are suddenly accessible that are almost impossible to believe. Some of them are unspeakably marvelous to her, others deeply disturbing. No, more than just disturbing. She lingers in the dark recesses of her consciousness. There were things she saw, things she were told. Her mouth twists into a silent snarl. She's been angry plenty of times before, but never so angry that she stopped being cute. She's not cute this time. She starts breathing harder, belligerently pushing the air from her nostrils. The beeping doubles its pace. Her eyes are wild, no longer sizing up the room, but calculating the true extent of the turbulent rage coursing through her body. Her brows creases sharply, and her nose wrinkles as her upper lip rises and quivers, and then it hits her. She knows exactly why she's feeling this way. She bolts upright from her bed and shouts,
Dirk Strider has to be stopped.
That's fucking right, he does.
Absolute truth.
We got a couple more donations, I think. Sonia Flores, just one more donation. Sonia Flores gave $50 and said, I've been watching intermittently the stream since you started yesterday, and I'm glad I got to see most of it. What a ride. Thanks for all you're doing. Trans rights. We are now at $4,929. We are so close. We are fucking, we are $71 from 5,000.
Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
I hope we can get this before meat ends.
Let me go ahead and smack another tweet out there onto the twit box.
God, have you guys been drinking water? How are you holding? You've been at this so long.
I slept.
There's like a graveyard of spent water bottles like on my desk.
I've been cycling
I have
through.
taken so many LaCroix.
I've been cycling through coffee, then black tea, then throat tea, then coffee, then black tea, then throat tea, and sometimes a bottle of water.
Oh my
and
god.
that's been, and I've just been here. It's this actually hasn't been that exhausting.
I was gonna take a power nap, and Anna was gonna call me to wake me up for an important Dirk chapter. And then Anna called me, and I picked up, and I do not remember this at all. I was 100% asleep when I picked up the phone and answered and said, I can't do it. And then I couldn't do it.
No, you missed out. You said you couldn't do it, and then you said something totally incomprehensible.
It's probably some meta shit.
I missed it. You were like straight up speaking in tongues.
I was probably saying some shit about, truth, relevance, and essentiality. All right.
Explain Homestuck to me.
Yeah, that was actually what I said there was the truth. It was the true interpretation of this. Let's go, gamers. All right, Meat 41, let's go. She's right, of course. I do have to be stopped. Not because I'm really that bad. I mean, I don't think I am. I'll understand if there are those who disagree. If my agenda was to try as hard as I could to make sure no one thought I sucked, what the fuck would ever get done? How would I go about taming this world or shaping reality for the better? If I didn't bother pursuing those goals and thereby tacitly accepting the untold suffering that resulted from my inaction, wouldn't that make me a bad person? If I try and succeed, what?
I just want to interject that paragraph and the sentence immediately following it is extremely Vriska.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, it just hit me like a truck.
Vriska had the whole speech about how you shouldn't try to control the universe. That's what bad people do. Like, Vriska came to the realization that agency and individual choice is the most important thing that she's fighting for, whereas Dirk believes agency and individual choice is evil. All right, sorry. I actually did not want to fully buy into this sounds like Vriska, because Vriska actually had a whole speech that is the exact opposite of this. Okay.
That's totally fair.
If I try and succeed, I'm a hero, right? And if I try and fail, at least I made things interesting on my way to the grave. There would be a tragic nobility in that. And the way I see it, settling for anything less from my arc would be, frankly, pathetic. So yeah, of course I know I have to be stopped. It's part of the contract, what you sign up for when you assume the burdens of this sort of power. Where there is that which must be subdued and suborned for the greater good, there is that which will instinctively resist. That which intuits whatever's going on here is wrong. Otherwise, intervention wouldn't even be necessary, would it? If reality and those within it were already so intrinsically pliable, so amenable to deviating from their own nature, the sins of men and faults of God would have no rigidity or resilience. There'd be no challenge in forcing their correction, no reward in ramming salvation down their throats. I know this isn't coming cheap, what I'm trying to do. The cost of it is knowing I need to be stopped. I accept it consciously, and when the time comes, if it comes, I'll offer myself up gladly. But I'm not a fool. I know what accepting this cost really means, through any objective narrative faculty. No matter how I rationalize things, how grandly I orate my supreme designs, or how indulgent and self-obsessed my concluding soliloquy may come across, I'm perfectly aware of what I've become in all practical ways. I am the villain now. It's gotten impossible for me to see this result as anything but inevitable from the day I was spawned from a puddle of slime. I want to be a good person. I believe I am a good person. But when you're someone like me, good is never going to be quite good enough. The problem is, I think power like mine can only make antagonistic intent unavoidable. Who could wield such control over people's choices in the course of events without ultimately becoming the enemy of anyone who notices? Maybe only a stronger person than I could manage to pull it off. Someone like Dave. So when I say I know I need to be stopped, I guess it's more than just accepting my end of a diabolical bargain. I know I need to be stopped because I'm sure deep down, somewhere inside my infinitely recursive sense of self, I know what's going on here is all just a little bit sick. To be honest, I'd consider killing myself and sparing reality all the trauma from the jump. I mean, a legit suicide, not one of those melodramatic faux suicidal plays for attention, sympathy, or Jake's dick. But to really do it for keeps, for a truly selfless purpose? Nah, too cowardly for that. Too afraid to stop existing for good. Wouldn't you be if you were me? I guess therein lies the problem. If I weren't me, obviously I'd consider myself much less indispensable. Only worthless people permit themselves the great luxury of a valorous sacrifice. When the deed is done, what was really lost? It's like the guy in the mailroom quitting in a self-righteous huff. Who the fuck were you again? No. When the sense of self is so substantial, when the fate of everything turns on every vain whim of an ego this sprawling, this entrenched in the very medium that contains all else, there's a certain existential sunk cost that goes with the whole deal. A persona that vast doesn't just self-terminate. It won't allow itself to. And that's why when someone finally comes knocking for the price I owe, I'll fully welcome it. By then, it'll have been a long time coming, and I'll probably have done more than my share to make sure somewhere along the way it all got put into motion. What good is a villain who doesn't have a satisfying dramatic comeuppance in store for him? So yeah, the next time I die, let's pencil it in as a just death. And let's also have it on good authority that the next time Dave cuts off my head, it'll be for good. I'll be looking forward to that day as much as the next guy.
Damn.
Wow.
Slaps.
I love Dirk.
Yeah, me too.
This is so
I
good.
love Dirk so much. I want him to die.
Case
Don't we
Jackal
all?
gives $10.25, lobbing a little more cash toward that 5K. Thank you, Case. Dot Rook, $25. No Dirk defense squad allowed. Well, I don't know. I really liked that a lot. I really enjoy reading these speeches.
Honestly,
wants
your
to fight,
Dirk
huh?
kills it. I like your Dirk so much.
Thank you. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I
all right.
mean, this literally early on into Meet, like Dirk literally pontificates at freaking Dave about
Yeah.
like being the heel. So like this is just that's what he's doing, just writ large into the narrative.
All right. 42. Meet 42. Gumi, get us started whenever you're ready.
So, Dirk needs to be stopped from doing what again?
Everything, whatever he's trying to do right now, like, woof. This is going to be hard to explain.
Are you sure, Jade? After all, he is the one who provided me with this medicine that just woke you up.
He did?
Yes.
Huh. Okay, but he's the one who shot me in the first place.
Huh?
He what?
Why would he do that?
He needed me to be asleep so that he could, Argh. What's going on right now is really abstract. I'm sorry. But you have to believe me, this is a crisis.
Okay, but maybe we shouldn't rush to judgment. You have been in a coma for some time. Maybe it's best to take a little while to recover and then gather your thoughts.
But
For now, I don't see much reason to doubt Dirk's good intentions. He gave me this medicine, and we just had a pretty good talk today. I think it helped me clear the air on a few things. And now I feel better, I think. Sad and heartbroken, yes, but free.
Free? What are you talking about, Kanaya? What did he say?
He's going to take good care of Rose. Probably much better than I'd ever be. I'll miss her, but I'm at least thankful for that.
thankful, Kanaya. Did Dirk kidnap Rose?
No, it's not like that at all. You see, Okay, yes, I know how this must sound.
So, like, where is Rose? Is she with him?
Yes, I guess they have formed a strong human familial bond such that it is no longer necessary for Rose to have me as her spouse. And now they will leave this planet together and do important things like do not concern us.
What?
No, I know, it probably sounds, well, I know how it sounds, but please believe me that appearances are misleading here.
The appearance that, like, the dude just fucking kidnapped your wife and pieced out?
Yes?
You see, something's wrong. Kanaya, can I just ask, how did you come to feel this way? Like, to be this okay with it, I mean. Did Dirk really convince you to be fine with this directly, like in a conversation? Or did you just make peace with it on your own?
I was running around desperately trying to catch them in the act of their duplicitous behavior, and then I sat down and thought about it, and realized I was being foolish. That it was better to let Rose go if that is what she really wanted.
There, that's it. That's what I'm talking about, Kanaya. There's no way you have just let Rose go like that without something pulling the strings. Dirk's been fucking with you. He's been fucking with all of us.
God damn, really?
Yes, Kanaya, think about it for a second. Think about how you feel about Rose, about all of this. Are you sure you're just fine with Rose leaving just like that?
It's fine, Kanaya. Why don't we just say I'm invoking the mercy rule here? Jade is on to me, obviously, but I wouldn't have even let her wake up if there was anything you all could do about it by now. As the sheriff resurfaces in her mind, I'll be fading out of here soon anyway. I don't see any reason to keep my dear friends in limbo any longer than they need to be. So forget what I said. All that stuff about you not being good enough for her, it probably wasn't true. I mean, what do I know? How worthy are you of another's company is just a matter of the choices you make, right? I'm sure you could figure out how to prove your worth to her if you really tried. For now, the only thing that really matters is to acknowledge it's too late for any of that now.
Wait, I'm confused.
Huh?
Why didn't I at least demand to see my wife before they departed while I had Dorothy's phone?
Oh my god, you didn't even see her before she left?
No, at the time it didn't feel right to ask, I guess. I was so devastated I thought that I should just... I don't know what I thought. What was I thinking?
Frowny face.
Kanaya stares into the distance. The best fucking question anybody ever asked is, why am I so fucking awesome? I believe I've recently provided more than enough material to supply an answer to that question. But Kanaya may have asked just the second best fucking question anybody ever asked. What was she thinking? What are any of us thinking, really? Who's doing the thinking? And who's having the thoughts? The more you study the question, the more it seems all concrete forms of accountability go up in smoke. Her original thoughts were never that important, and the significance of the idea that she was the one authoring them was always a bit overrated. My mission is to someday clear this all up for everyone, remove the ambiguity, suck the mud out of the water. It'll be a lot better that way. Trust me.
Have I lost my fucking mind?
She's really pissed. Yikes. Couldn't pay me to be in that room right now. Not for all the agency in the world.
What has Dirk done with my wife?
Whoa. What do you mean there?
He did something to her. He has corrupted her in some way. I know Rose. I love Rose. She would never do something like this to me. She wouldn't do it to anyone. Not unless she was under duress in some way. It's Dirk. It's always been Dirk. He is behind this. I'll get him for this. I swear that I will make him pay dearly for stealing my beloved wife.
That would be nice.
Jade!
Anything.
She uses both hands to grab Jade by the hospital gown and starts
Not
shaking her
me.
vigorously.
Why would I give you?
But she's unlikely to
I
get
just don't
answers from
want
her that way. If anything, she'll cause her to go silent a lot more quickly than she was about to anyway. She's just wrestling the spirit from her slumber.
Tell me everything you know. Why does Dirk have to be
It's
stopped?
probably
What
just
does
not
that
done uploading
mean?
since it's a whole 20.
How did you learn all of this? Tell me your secrets, damn it.
Yeah, and I know it's strange, but there's nothing I can do about it right now.
Ark, please stop shaking me.
Hopefully it'll fix
I'm
itself
sorry.
soon enough.
When I was asleep, I saw things and was visited in my dreams by the old muse who once helped us. Callie's ghost devil.
I don't think I can
And
hide it.
there was so much. All these memories from different timelines. And such sad memories, visions of deaths and sacrifice. A great battle with Lord English. It was so overwhelming
Wow,
and hard to make sense
Well,
of.
no, but that's partly because it was going on
Yes,
during
but
the
what
stream.
about Dirk?
I'm trying to get to that. The thing with Dirk is
It's happening. Roxy noticed it right away, because she's seen it before. And now Kanaya sees it too, a distant look in her eyes as she trails off. They get cloudy, turn gray, and then fill in completely. As its jet black ink were flooding the virtuous bodies of her eyeballs. Jade isn't here anymore. And with that, I'll be getting my hat and coat, so to speak.
I don't think so.
No use
I
lingering
mean, I
around.
haven't checked.
No
Maybe.
use lingering around here much longer. The sheriff is already beginning to drown me out.
Yes.
I can feel it, but this time,
Yep.
I'm ready.
Jade? Jade?
Oh no. Not again with this shit.
Jade, no! Please step out of this. This grim condition of sorts. I need you to tell me what you know.
She's not going to tell you shit. Not for a good while, anyway. It's up to the sheriff to let her go for now.
Sure.
And I doubt she'll do that before I'm light years away from this planet. She'll keep jamming my signal, and won't dare risk stopping until she knows I'm at a safe distance. Kind of a catch-22, right, Kanaya? The one who's protecting you all from my influence is also blocking you from getting any answers. Not that you'd even know what to do with them.
They will know what to do when they are ready.
Haha, sure. They're all just hopping a spaceship and going a wild goose chase. Trying to hunt me down. I know that already. It's not really rocket science. Except for the fact that it literally is.
Kanaya, please chill. I've seen this before. There's no breaking her out of this. Except, I guess by doing what Dirk did? Shooting her and waking her up and... Man, poor Jade.
Yes, poor Jade. Poor me. Poor Rose. Poor everyone. Fuck Dirk. Ah!
She picks up the heart monitor and throws it out the hospital window. Holy shit.
She picks up the heart monitor and throws it out the hospital window.
Oh yeah, I guess I don't need to fucking do this anymore. Don't worry, I'll bow out. Seems like you got this from here. Go nuts, Skullgirl.
The monitor smashes on the pavement below, scattering into 1,000 pieces. Spectators gather around and look up. Roxy is looking out the broken window with an apologetic demeanour, a hand to his mouth. Kanaya drops to the floor and begins weeping again. She feels the sorrow anew from her wife's departure with a sense of rage and pain unshrouded by the veil of the prince. Neither she nor her friends will have to worry about him anymore, so long as they remain on this planet and under my protection.
But a bunch of them won't remain, will they? they won't be able to help themselves. You know that.
It has to be stopped. It has to be stopped.
Huddled on the floor, she repeats this pledge to herself. Theoretically, he could be stopped before he leaves if they hurried. They would need to know what to do, where to go, and have the motivation to do it, but time is short. I could push them to with a certain degree of intervention, but I will not. My unwillingness to do so is what separates me from him, and what corporeal life needs now is someone presiding over him who is nothing like him at all.
And that's a nice line. I get why you'd want to dial up on the drama, making your grand re-entrance and all. But the fact is, even if they wanted to, even if you brain fried them all to become your own personal cherubic puppets and sent them on the warpath to come get me, and they still never catch me, you still don't get it yet. I'm already gone.
Damn.
We have, I believe we have some more
we have a couple
donations
new
to read out.
donations. Yeah. Let's take a look at this. Spoonie gave $25. I've been making sure Case doesn't die a good chunk of this stream. You're almost there, you guys. You can do it.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Spoonie, for looking after Case.
Spoonie's in the room with me.
Argus. All right. Argus gives $50. Let's round this off. Hi, Taz. Sorry to interrupt you, Case, if you want to keep talking to Spoonie.
Oh, no, I'm muted.
All right.
You can keep going. Transcribe.
JR Hyde gave $14.21. We're doing it, man. We're making this happen. Spicy Apple Jam gives $4.13. Sorry I was too busy to join the stream. I hope everyone has a great time.
Thanks,
Trans rights, I
Spicy.
support. Thank you, Spicy, so
I love
much.
You, Spicy. I love you,
Spicy.
Mickey, Mickey says, I'm sad I missed the live read of Meat, so I'll have to sit here and be consumed by lust until the stream uploads. 82%. Let's go, gamers. Let's go. We are over $5,000 now.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Holy shit.
You
Holy
guys are
shit.
incredible.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Congrats.
Yes.
Good
They
work,
released
everybody.
They released me
And-
from the coffee war, so I'm back.
Yay.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Hooray.
Nice.
Also, thanks, Arcus.
Okay.
Thanks, Case.
Yeah, thank you everyone
And
who's
everybody.
contributed. We are over $5,000 fucking dollars. Absolutely
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
Oh my god.
More money than it's more money than not much money. I couldn't think of anything
I was like, where are you going? Who are you about to? Who is Aisha about to nuke from orbit on this
Oh my
stream?
god.
I'm already gone as a contrast to I'm already here.
Big
Yeah.
mood.
I gotta thank Taz for staying up this entire time, no breaks. You have been
I cannot
the
believe it,
constant
yeah.
Taz, you're
anchor.
an animal.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
are. You really are.
Taz has been the anchor through this whole thing.
What can I say but trans rights?
Taz, you've left it
But
all
really-
on the field.
But really, isn't the true anchor that brought us all together today one boy named Dirk Strider?
Fuck you!
No, go back to
the
when you were
moment-
saying trans rights, please. Just can we
Trans rights.
rewind?
The thing that brought us here today was one boy
No.
named.
I accidentally
Strider.
hid a message from V. Please repost it if you can, V.
I don't think I can.
Sorry.
I think you accidentally hit him. V, just type it again.
Dirk
Yeah,
right,
that's what I
did.
meant.
says V.
Sorry,
The
I'm very
moment
sleepy.
when I was reading it just as a Google Doc, the moment there was no colors in it yet, except for the orange when the narration changed. And the moment that happened, I had a mental breakdown.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like that whole no, they haven't figured it out yet, but you have, haven't you? When he starts talking to us
Oh, it's so
Oh,
good.
and then calls us voyeurs, like that was incredible.
Yeah.
That's by far like the favorite line that I got to voice on this stream, and just like I can die happy now.
Which one?
Just all of all of 17.
Mm-hmm. That have we done the one? Have we done his ending monologue yet? Right?
Yes, we're past.
Yeah, I did it. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. Yeah, it's really good. That's good shit.
I had to get my, Francis Underwood on.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
All right. You think we're ready to end the home stretch now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think we are.
I love these sweet riffs, but I got places to be and shit to do, so
Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah.
If somebody needs to dip, then I can take over on a voice for this, but
Nah, I'm good. I'm just on time crunches on time crunches.
We're fine, so long as we sort of, I'm gonna. Calliope is now a speedrunner of the narrative. Later that night, Jade has been moved from the hospital to the Troll Kingdom. She now sits in a wheelchair, remaining in perfect silence with her dark eyes open to maintain my transmission. Roxy and Kanaya rolled her into the living room of Dave and Karkat's hive earlier this evening. That is where they all sit now, discussing the day's troubling events. Roxy is using his phone to pursue leads on the whereabouts of the prince.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. You too, Jake. Thanks, man. Yeah, well, let you know what we're doing later.
He hangs up and sighs dramatically.
Poor guy.
What did he say?
A lot of it was hard to make out due to all the sobbing. But yeah, it's like we thought. Dirk borrowed one of his ships and got the fuck out.
Anna?
Sorry. Did he say where?
Nope. Doubt he told anybody, to be honest. In fact, I'd say odds are that he doesn't quite know where he's going yet.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. I just know the guy. Also, what's even out there? Dude's got a ship, and now he's hauling ass randomly about with Rose, and to I don't know, prove some sort of point?
What about Jane?
We aren't calling Jane.
Why not?
Because I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of her fat, fascist mouth.
That's stupid. I'm calling her. I dislike the woman as well, but I will leave no possibility unexhausted striving to rescue my wife from that madman.
She takes Roxy's phone and presses Jane's name in the contact list. She moves to the far side of the room to speak while the others continue conversing.
So, phew.
Dave makes a noise humans sometimes do by expelling air through his closed, fleshy lips, creating an impolite flapping effect.
Rose and Dirk, huh?
Yup.
Rose and fucking Dirk. Damn, so are they man, I'm never gonna hear the end of it if I'm the one to ask this question, am I? I've had too many fucking goofy dumbass foot and mouth family blunders to be a guy asking this fucking question, and yet here I am, asking it.
Ooh, what are you talking about?
Are they, together?
What?
What this dumbass is asking is if they're doing human intercourse activities.
Oh my god?
Karkat, please.
Oh my god. Karkat, they're related. Humans don't do that when they're related to each other, okay?
Don't talk down to me. I'm not a fucking wriggler. I'm familiar with your concept of human incest.
Yeah, okay, not to be that guy, even though I'm totally being that guy. If it never happened, we wouldn't have a word for it.
I really don't think... I mean, they wouldn't. There's no way. It makes no sense. For one, Dirk is gay. And isn't Rose gay too?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows what Rose's deal is exactly. Of all of us who could have ended up eloping to have illicit incestuous relations, they definitely would have been the last two I would have put my money on. And yet, it sure is fucking real weird that they seem to have gone off and done it, isn't it?
Don't even say that. Just thinking about it makes my skin crawl.
You guys are so fucking weird about this. Seriously? That's the issue here? The shithead went and stole Kanaya's mate sprit, apparently by mystically underhanded means. There's practically no limit to the dimensions we could be getting angry about this on. But here we are, instead, doing this pointless thing you people always do when it comes to incest.
Us people?
I know. I'm a fucking xenophobe. Let's just all agree I'm a big shitty xenophobe about this and move on.
Jesus fucking Christ. Hey, Kanaya, how's that phone call going?
Jane's chief of staff has put me on hold. It seems my solicitation does not register as a priority in this administration. I cannot say I'm surprised.
Tell her to register my heaving bulge as a priority.
I will not tell her that.
Anyway, you guys are all fucked up about this. That's all I'm saying. This is objectively not the worst thing about this scenario. It's not even a remotely noticeable factor. Why are we even talking about this? It's so fucking performative. Is there something you're trying to prove by constantly competing to be the most scandalized by your own completely arbitrary social constructs?
Yo, dogs, I know we get to some jank bare bottom as fuck convos sometimes, but this one, I don't even know anymore. I know you're an alien and all, but in these dire straits, can we maybe not riff on the subject of fucking incest? For what it's worth, the shit really does bug the hell out of me. If I can confirm on behalf of my species, that yeah, this idea kind of sucks according to pretty much literally everybody, could we agree to stop talking about it?
See, this is what I'm fucking talking about. You grew up one of the 2 humans on your entire planet. Where the fuck do you get any frame of reference for this shit? Admit it. You only pretend to be bothered by this because your human society tells you that your performance of disgust is virtuous.
Oh my god, dude. No.
Also, excuse me, but can I just fucking ask, since when did you start cosplaying as Dave?
Dude.
What?
Lol.
Do you even know fucking anything? You're a ham-brained boner stooge who doesn't know anything, aren't you? I'm very sorry, Roxy, that my ham-brained boner stooge of a boyfriend doesn't know fuck all about Jack Dick.
It's okay, he's like fucking right. I get mistaken for you, like, well, it's been happening. I should have known. I really thought all the pink I'm wearing would have helped with that. I don't know, I'll keep messing with it.
No, you look great. Like, super duper duper great. Just perfect. Like, I could not possibly be more proud of your fashion choice.
Christ. Dave, it sounds like you're about to kiss your mother just to prove me wrong.
First of all, Roxy's not my mother anymore. Wait, Roxy, did we actually decide on the protocol of what I'm supposed to call you? I literally have no comprehension of the etiquette here, because you're technically my biomom, but it's not as if I literally came out of your vagina or anything, and well, considering what's going down right now, I'm not too attached to the sanctity of Dirk being my dad. You can formally replace him as my daddy right now if you want.
Wow, the Wookmaster is on fucking fire, folks. He'll be here all night.
Oh, shut the fuck up. What's your problem? Why are you acting like this?
Acting like what?
Like a huge belligerent dickhead. Are you craving attention? Is that it? Did I get you hooked?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I see how it is. You get one hot hit of sincerity from your fresh boy Dave, and now you're itching in your pants every second you go without it. You know, if you want to hold my hand or some shit, you can just do it now.
I have no desire to do that. At all.
Come on, our relationship doesn't have to be a ludicrous, unending performance of emotional constipation. We got character developed, bitch. Come here.
What the fuck are you doing? Get away from me!
No, Christ, you're like a flighty little muskrat. Stop squirming.
Get your hands off of me, you smelly bag of shit. I hate you.
No way. No, you don't. You love me. We're gonna be together forever.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
And I'm gonna profess my undying love to you in the form of a kiss.
No!
For all the vigour of his oral protests, Karkat does not offer sufficient physical objection to prevent Dave from successfully planting a kiss on his cheek. The gesture causes Karkat to deflate instantly. He goes limp in Dave's arms, eyes wide. Dave is no longer so sure of his ability to freely engage in public displays of affection. Suddenly very self-conscious, he pulls back, leaving a significant foot of distance between himself and Karkat once they've collected themselves. Dave awkwardly clears his throat. Karkat wipes off his cheek. Both are looking off in opposite directions.
Aw, you boy's cute.
Hey, can you just forget you saw that? Thanks.
Thank you.
For what?
For doing something that turned that steaming dog shit fire of an incest conversation to something that just made me feel very, very happy. Even if it was only for a fleeting moment in these dark as fuck times.
Don't mention it.
Kanaya returns to the seating area and hands Roxy his phone.
If Jane is to be trusted, apparently she doesn't even know Dirk was gone. She doesn't know where he might be headed either. Or she won't tell us.
Well, shit.
I'm so fucking surprised. Alright, then what do we do?
I don't know.
Hey, does anyone know where the hell John is?
Oh yeah, good question.
Wasn't he on some mission? Whatever happened with that?
It was a Rose thing. She was cagey as fuck about it, and now she's gone, so we can't even ask her. So, damn.
He's not answering his phone.
Yeah, I've tried too.
Oh yeah, I forgot. John would solve our whole problem, wouldn't he? Just zap us right into Dirk's ship with his retcon powers. That's how that works, right?
Maybe? I think he should be here regardless and catch up with the situation. Getting kind of worried about him.
Yeah.
I ran into Terezi the other day, and she hadn't seen him either.
Oh shit, Terezi's back?
What?
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that because guess I just thought you knew? I assumed she would have gotten in touch.
Nope.
Nobody ever fucking tells us anything. It seems like kind of a gigantic fucking deal that Terezi came back to Earth.
Kanaya, did you know about this?
Yes. I also assumed you knew.
I'm giving her a call to see if she knows anything about this. And she's not picking up either.
What the fuck is even going on anymore?
There is a moment of silence. Though no one in the room is conscious of the fact, it serves to honor their departed friend. The heir will not be able to help guide them to the prince. If they ever wish to see John again, be it his cadaver or otherwise, they will need another means of following the ship, a different guide altogether. By stated principle, I cannot intervene through the same compromising methods of my nemesis, but if I were to fall back to a state so passive as to offer no assistance at all, it would be at odds with my sworn duty as a protector of corporeal life. They will have their guidance, but my instructions will be minimal. So long as they remain in my conduit's presence, they will know the way forward.
What the fuck is Jade doing?
Huh.
That's creepy, right? Tell me I'm not the only one who thinks that's creepy.
Yeah, it's a bit spooky. That's how it is when she gets like this.
What is she pointing at?
Jade has raised her right hand and is pointing upward at an angle of about 45 degrees, seemingly in a random direction. But it's far from random.
Oh, I think I know what's up. She's trying to say there's something important over that way. Isn't that right, Jade? Can you hear me?
Dave walks over and kneels in front of her chair. He looks closely at her. Her face, though still expressionless, strikes him as serious and tense.
Jade, is it John? John's that way, right? You want us to go in that direction to find John. Is that it, Jade? Come on, what is it, girl? Tell me.
Oh my god, Dave, treating her like a dog.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I guess I fucking suck, but she is a dog, okay? A doggy girl who's trying to tell us something. Just let me do my thing here. Jade, give me a little yelp if John's that way and we should go after him. Just a little woof. If John's in danger, yiff twice, please.
Dave!
Shh!
He leans in closer and studies her face carefully. It hasn't changed.
Maybe it's not John that way? Maybe it's... Jade, is that where Dirk went?
It's barely noticeable, but Dave picks up on it. Her face relaxes slightly.
That's it. That's the way Dirk went, and she wants us to follow. Okay, wow. But what about John? Is John safe?
She doesn't move.
Is John... Does he have anything to do with what's going on? What about Terezi? Is, John with them? Jade, is John on the ship with Dirk and Rose?
Slowly, she lowers her arm and places her hand back on her lap.
What the fuck did that mean?
It means... I think it means I'm right. Don't ask me how I know, but I think I got the answers out of her we need. Dirk and Rose are on a ship headed that way, and for some fucking reason, John's along the ride. We need to saddle the fuck up, and wherever we go, I think we're gonna need to bring Jade along.
Right.
Karkat springs to his feet and easily resumes his well-practiced posture of leadership.
Kanaya, get Jake English on the phone.
Okay. Why?
Because we need to borrow one of his ships. We're going to get your fucking wife back.
He nods. Kanaya nods back. Roxy nods too. Dave does not realize they are all supposed to be nodding in determination and solidarity until Karkat nudges him. Then he nods too. They resolve to travel to Jake's mansion immediately and to embark on their new adventure shortly thereafter. They will believe they are on a quest to retrieve a wife and rescue a friend, but they will discover their true mission is of much greater cosmic significance than they imagined. The seer is firmly in the thrall of the prince and will not be easily pried away. And as regards the heir, though resuscitation remains a theoretical possibility for those still striving for it, the truth of his role is it has reached a greater sense of narrative finality than any of his allies will bring themselves to admit. His influence over canon has come to an end, as has this particular story. His ultimate sacrifice was made to put the missing keystone in place and avert the supreme dissipation of all that shall be considered to hold truth, relevance, and essentiality. As for me, I will be there wherever they go, so long as my conduit remains alive, alert, and present, but only as a guide with the lightest possible touch, and only to block the insidious mandates of the prince from within his sphere of influence. The rest of my presence can simply be reduced to a string of words, a recorded stream of ideation with a particular texture and cadence, but aside from that, there is nothing that should be considered remarkable about its source. One speaker can easily be swapped for another, and then another, under the right circumstances. Speakers can duel, predominate, over-assert, or fall back, as one does into the comforting blanket of space. And until I am needed again, this is precisely what I will do. I leave all who inhabit this reality with a recorded stream that is colorless, sourceless, and quietly divested of accountability. For if I were to insist upon anything else, could I really be considered worthy of protecting the very cosmos I describe? Farewell.
I've got a donation to read. K Forge gives $41.30, which brings us to $5,099 as we head into the final postscript of this stream.
Y'all.
Oh my god.
Aisha, take it away whenever you're ready.
I will. Postscript. Elsewhere, below the horizon, the distant sounds of war travel above the canopy of a forest. The artillery fire fades to a series of muted knocks and thuds as the sound waves cross beyond a thinning patch of the forest and arrive in a clearing of grass and shrubbery. Above, the sky is dramatic, colorful, menacing. The way it looks when a storm is coming. The clouds are wild, whipped into a sort of spatial frenzy, as if they know what's imminent is no earthly phenomena. Aradia stands in the field, her mouth gaping wide, but not at the sky. It's unusual she isn't grinning, and she slowly corrects this. She smiles brightly as the girl crouching on the ground 10 paces before her. Aradia's never seen anything like what she just saw this girl do. Jade was 16 years old when she showed up, and she doesn't look a day older now, though many hundreds of days have passed. There's a hole piercing the space symbol on her shirt, but no sign of whatever it was that made it. Her legs are covered by the same striped tights as usual, but her feet are shoeless. Her knees are pressed into the mud of the field, and her hands braced against the ground to support her hunched figure. She is covered in blood almost from head to toe. Fresh blood and viscera surround her in an even ring on the field. It soaks her clothes, coats her skin, still gleaming and wet, running slowly down her limbs and face, dripping from her mouth, glasses in the tip of her nose. Her hair is matted, savage-looking, filthy. She looks up. Behind the rim of her glasses, her wide eyes are a solid black. Her lips are parted, revealing her canine fangs. The meat she's chewing is stubborn, raw, full of gristle, almost supernaturally tough. But she is a determined beast of prey. She swallows once, hard. The last bit of her meal slides down her throat. The deed is finished. She stands up and closes her eyes. An aura of darkness gathers around her. The blood begins to dissolve, as if being absorbed into her skin. She makes 2 fists, plants her feet firmly, and releases an otherworldly howl. A shock wave emanates from her body, knocking Aradia down. It rushes outward, blowing the surrounding trees back as if they're weathering hurricane-force winds. In a moment, calm is restored. She opens her perfectly black eyes again. Aradia staggers back to her feet and brushes herself off.
I take it everything went as you hoped.
Jade looks down at her hands as if they belong to an alien. She can feel it now. Abilities have been awakened inside her that no being has ever commanded before. She races her hands and looks up at the sky. Above her, an immense vortex opens. It swirls many miles upward into blackness, and lightning crackles within. Jade does nothing for a while. She seems to simply study the construct she summoned, this great occult trumpet beckoning her into its abyss. Her face is expressionless. Her glasses flash white as they reflect the lightning that arcs sporadically inside the wormhole.
Well, aren't you going in? Wasn't that the idea, or did I not?
Jade silently holds up a hand as if telling her to wait. Aradia closes her mouth, looking embarrassed. Nearby, a red haze gathers in the air. It condenses into concentric rings and spheres of ruby light. The luminous shape of a man fades into the center of the special effect. When the light subsides, Aradia notices that the man is made of polished metal. She recognizes the gear symbol on his chest, identical to her own. She also recognizes the sunglasses the robot is wearing. She knows who this is.
Dave?
So,
he looks in Aradia's direction. His eyes, glowing bright enough to be visible behind his shades, are fixed on Jade. He looks her up and down. She's still so young. He knew this Jade many years ago, but by this point their paths have diverged in ways that he couldn't even begin to describe if he wanted to.
So we doing this?
Jade says nothing and looks up into the wormhole again. She begins to levitate, gradually picking up speed. Without looking back, she rockets into the vortex, vanishing into the darkness. Davebot turns to Aradia.
How about you? Want to come along?
I guess so. I'm not really sure what's going on here. To be honest, the plan wasn't discussed much.
That's what we're doing now, discussing the plan. What about your boy, Eye Patches?
Oh, Solux is in one of his moods. This was all getting a bit much for him. If I go, I'll probably just cut him loose.
Good move.
His gaze remains fixed on her. She blinks and looks away, unsure what to say next. He's standing perfectly still, presumably waiting for her to say something. She met him, what was it, once, twice before? She can't remember. But she knows this is a very different Dave. Aside from the metal skin, he seems implacably confident, but then people go through changes. She'd been through more than her fair share. She cocks an eyebrow, recalling her own stint with a metal body.
Hey, Earth to what's-your-face?
Oh, it's Aradia.
I know.
So
that's a yes then.
What?
You're coming. Better decide quick before... I doubt that dank fucking hell tunnel is gonna stay open for much longer.
Yes, I suppose so. That's where all the action is, right?
All of the action that matters, yeah?
Off we go then, smiley face.
Word.
He holds out his hand. She looks around and assumes he means for her to take it, so she does. She didn't know someone could fly this fast. He nearly yanks her arm out of its socket. She considers reminding him that maybe this isn't necessary since she can fly too, but she doesn't want to risk saying more embarrassing stuff around this outrageously cool dude. Besides, they're through the wormhole before she can even finish the thought. It vanishes the moment they've crossed. The hole leaves behind an absence in the sky so calm that continuing to call it a sky wouldn't seem to do it justice. It's a perfectly neutral expanse into which anything one can imagine might be summoned. And for a while anything was, but not anymore. Where the hole gaped just moments ago, there now exists an imaginary line. Above this line resides all that matters. Below exists all else. Never again the twain shall meet.
And that is the Homestuck epilogue.
Oh my god, the guys, we did
Wow.
We did it.
Yay!
Our final fundraising count on this stream is $5,099.08. I am so fucking proud of this community. I am gonna make some tweets now.
Just manufacture some tweets.
So I'm gonna go head over to the tweet factory.
Cracks knuckles. Time to fucking blog.
Time to fucking blog.
I will not be blogging. I am terrified of Twitter.
Blogging
valid.
is the one thing I have an inclination to never do again.
Just tweet. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, come hang out with me in Discord, guys.
Yeah. So, first off, I want to say the MVP is Optimistic Duelist, who did 26 hours of streaming Homestuck.
Holy fucking shit, Taz.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Go eat something and go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah. Once we let's do some.
I just had a banana, and I'm definitely gonna go pass out.
Banana? Is that it?
Yeah.
I've been snacking the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you so much, Taz, for making this possible, for your incredible devotion to this, for all of the work you've done for this community, and all of the incredible contributions you've made. If everybody, you've been so generous over the course of this weekend, everybody. Patreon.com/optimisticduelist. Support Taz for all of the incredible analysis videos, content he puts out, and also this incredible event proving the power of community organizing together.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to thank. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I don't think none of this, if it had just been me, this wouldn't have been possible at all. This happened because you were here, and because you connected me to all of these wonderful people, and because everyone was so willing to just put in the time and the effort to just go through this together. And I'm still sorting out my feelings about the epilogue, but that's nothing new for me. And I've always said that my favorite feeling about Homestuck is when it leaves me feeling really confused. But I really don't feel confused about the people that I've met along the way, and everyone gathered here today, and everyone that has gone through this adventure with us over the last the concept of time is absolutely demolished for me, but whenever we started this, and anyone who's ever loved Homestuck, honestly, helped make
I
this
guess
possible.
the true epilogue really was the friends we made along the way.
It really was. The real trans sprites was the friends you made along the way, says V, and that's also
true.
So I wanted to thank our incredible voice cast who helped us out so much. I'm just going to go from top to bottom on the Discord sidebar. Anna, Ostinato, Aisha, Becca, Case, Kat, Crow, Danny, Ego Sweetheart, Gumi, James Roach, Nell, Nico, Optimistic Duelist, Pip, Cephid Variable, Dante Basco, Hexa, KC, Rhys, Sarah Zadig, Spiraz, VeritasUnae. Thank you all so much for reading this incredible work together. But I think my biggest thanks, first off, are for the donors, all the incredible people who contributed. And then to Andrew Hussey, to Cephid Variable, to V, to Aisha and to Lalo for putting this incredible thing into the world. And saying, hey, we can make some brave choices with media. We can do innovative and heart-wrenching and challenging things together. Thank you so much to all of you for all of your hard work on behalf of Homestuck.
Thanks, guys. Been fucking real.
It's been fucking
Yeah.
real, and it will continue. The realness attribute will not go down at all.
Guys, I can't tell you if it's been good or bad, but it has sure been essential.
And remember,
really
that's the
has
word we
been.
should be using.
This has been the most surreal experience I've had in like all of the Homestuck fandom. Huge payoff for being in this shit for 10 years, let me tell you.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely
Yeah.
the fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Here's to 10 more.
Listen,
Here's
I
to
never
10
said it
more.
as a personal goal to read Dave Cat with Askar Cat voice, but like that happened today, and that's just how my life is going. You know what I mean?
You guys kicked ass.
Oh
Face and
Thank you
ego.
so
You guys
much.
are getting an Oscar for that Dave Cat scene performance.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
guys are
God.
fucking. I can't wait to listen to it.
Oh my god.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to spend the next 24 hours, 26 hours playing the stream back.
I personally am gonna go eat a fucking sausage biscuit. And then I guess Aisha, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this thing on a podcast because that's exactly what we both need to be doing is to talk about Homestuck more after 26 hours of this.
You
Hey,
truly
listen,
are
okay?
the real
James
MVPs.
is here. Hi, James.
Hey,
Hello.
James.
Hey, James.
Hi, James.
Fucking
Hi, James.
V hasn't slept either, dude. Taz and V,
Yeah.
no
Jesus.
sleep
Y'all
solidarity.
go fucking
Wow.
to sleep.
I've been
Me
here
and
since
V-
noon.
Me and V are soul bonded by standing Dirk and sleep deprivation now, apparently.
Good. All right,
All right, I'm out.
I think we're good now. I think we're
Oh,
good.
okay.
right?
everybody, just go take a sleep. Take care of each other.
Hold on, let me see if there's any last donations before we turn the stream off. There might be. Or maybe there's not, and this is like a huge anticlimax. I don't know. The page isn't refreshing. Fuck. No, there were no.
We'll never
Can we have
know.
one last? Can we have one last
Trans
rousing-
rights.
Yes,
The wheels
trans
are-
rights.
Trans fucking rights. Everyone says
Trans
trans
rights.
rights.
Right.
Trans rights.
Trans rights, yes.
Get some fucking sleep, y'all. Bye.
Yeah, good night, you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.